In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Wednesday nights are always weird for me. It's the first time, like, nobody's at my house the whole week. Wednesday nights. That's the first Aaron's all by himself night of the week. I don't mind it. It's just always weird. I got Matt here with me typically. A couple of great evening shows. You know, really, I can give Tim Walz credit, but I think I'm going to take credit. You know, the Tim Walz news has given us a lot to talk about. And then, of course, we had 1,500 people watching at a time on Monday's show. Like, we've done some impressive numbers this week. And I, you know, a lot of it's because of, you know, the news. But I can't help it. I have to take this opportunity to take credit for it myself. I've just been so goddamn talented this week. And so many people want to see my smiling face during our 10th anniversary week. Guys, this is our last evening show of our 10th anniversary week. 240, knock it out. Let's do this. Let's get the ugly money part out of the way first tonight. Go ahead, throw a couple of bucks in. All the links are there in the chat. I'm excited. We got plenty to talk about. We get to make fun of Kamala Harris. I get to learn. I'm so excited to learn or like watch other people learn about Tim Walz. It's cool. Like, Minnesotans are weird about, like, whenever we make national news, we really show what rubes we are deep down. Like, it doesn't matter how sophisticated we try to pretend we are. Like, oh, Tim Walz is the VP candidate for Kamala Harris. Everyone's going to get to know about Tim Walz. I can tell you everything about him. I can tell you the size boot he wears. And we know it because it's been on our neck since COVID. So Tim Walz being a national figure now, it's kind of fun for us because nobody ever talks about us up here in the North. You know, nobody gives a fuck about Minnesota. Nobody gives a shit. We're irrelevant on the national stage. So whenever somebody kind of breaks out, we're like, yeah, it's one of ours. That's our guy. Even if we think he's a piece of shit and we hate him, like, Tim Walz sucks, but it's like, hey, they're talking about Minnesota. You know, we were getting that way with Anthony Edwards for the Timberwolves. He's like becoming the best player in the NBA. And we're like, hey, we're Minnesota. We're here, right? Even when, like, back in like 2005 or whatever, when the Vikings team got busted on a hooker boat, you know, we were still like, hey, we're on TV. We're those rubes. We're the rubes who sit there and wave at the camera like during a murder news story. And we go, I'm on TV. So I understand it's been a big news week this week, and that's why we've been doing good numbers. But you guys have a streak that's up to 8 shows in a row, knocking everything out. So you've been given as well, and I appreciate that. We've got today and tomorrow. That's it. We've got, well, obviously we're doing a show Friday, but that's going to be Rumble Link Friday, and it's going to be Anniversary Day. We're going to celebrate our anniversary that day. So hopefully you guys feel like pouring in gifts on that day. If you're just an evening show fan, then tonight would be the night for you to throw in your gifts, you know? But let's hit that 240. Let's hit the number tomorrow. And we're going to be flying high again. We're going to be doing what we need to do to keep this pig in the hunt, if you will. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, you can't fool me, Aaron. I've heard you can't fool me, Aaron. I've heard Matt talk. Minnesotans can't even explain their own governor without hooting and grunting like a stuck pig. Matt is a passionate man. You're going to learn that. Any of you who come out for the anniversary show, and please do. I know the comedy show's sold out, but guys, it's totally free to come hang out with us, and you don't have to leave when the comedy show happens. Hang out outside, keep drinking, keep having a great fucking time. We'll go in for an hour and a half, 2 hours, tell a few jokes, bring back a few people from the old days, have a little trip down memory lane, and then, we'll come back out and party some more. Sing some karaoke. It'll be a great time. I'm going to get there at about 1:30. I'm going to start setting everything up around 2. And the party starts for everyone at 3 o'clock. So come on out. We'll have a few hundred people coming in and out of there. It'll be a great time. Stoney's in downtown Rockville. You'll absolutely love the place. It's so much fun. Boy, if you're not going to be there, if you can't be there, that's too bad. But if you can and you're choosing not to, you're missing out. It's going to be a good time. Brittany Boo says, on my way to Vegas, I'll tell it you said hello. Please do. That's my favorite city. I love Las Vegas, man. I love it. I was worried when I first filed for divorce. I was like, is Las Vegas April and I's town? I'm like, fuck no, that's not our town. My fucking town. She'd never been there. She was the second chick I brought to Las Vegas. Get the fuck. So I was like, no, Vegas is my town. I can't wait to go back. I want to go back by the end of the year, but I think I'm going to hang tight. I think I'm gonna store some nuts for the winter, and then maybe I think what I might do for vacation this year, I might actually skip Vegas for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, and I think what I might do is my vacation this year might be November Nashville Vikings game. That might be the way to go. So, but yes, I love Vegas. I miss Vegas. Now that Miss has to go to all the nice dress places and all the nice restaurants is gone. It'll probably be cheaper trips to Vegas as well. I enabled it. I can't just blame her, but I enabled it every step of the way. Why do you think she was with me? For my good looks? I mean, I thought so at first, obviously, but it's been revealed to me in time. Dive Bar with $1 says, I figured out me giving you money beat you having to work a full day. Yeah, exactly. You giving me money beats me having to work a full day. Perfect. This guy gets it. If you want to throw in, all the links are in the chat. Let's go fucking nuts and let's just KO the 240 in the first hour. If you got 100, throw 100. It's anniversary week, for God's sake. Just throw us ungodly amount. Really, just the amounts we don't deserve, quite frankly. Brittany Boo says, fun. We talked about going to Nashville for football, too. Yeah, I think it would be fun. So, like I said, busy week. Matt and I last night kind of worked out some of the wrinkles of what we're going to bring to the anniversary show to make sure that goes off without a hitch. Got the cornhole tournament, which for the first time is going to be free. It's going to be something we're going to give you guys. We're going to give 200. It's going to be winner take all. I'm going to give $200 to the winning team. Just give a $100 bill to each winner. Drinks are on us, essentially. So, fun time coming up Saturday at Stoney's. I had my little stenographer, my little reporter who reports back to me, who loves watching all things steel toe and likes to report back to me on what's going on. And they said Keanu's fucking desperate. They said it's bad. First of all, nobody's watching. She won't do live toe shit anymore because apparently when we find out, we make fun of her. And she doesn't, I don't know why she insists on wading into these waters. She's not cut out for it. And she embarrasses herself every time she tries to come after me. It's quite frankly humiliating. It really is. She has Wile E. Coyote syndrome. It's awful. But they said, yeah, she does this weird, she's a really shitty pro wrestler. She's like Jumpin' Jeff Farmer, if you've ever watched that promo, where he's like, yep, probably toughest match I've ever had in my life. And he's just trying to cut a promo and sound like a tough guy, but he just looks like a cringe retard. That's Keanu trying to, like, talk tough. This toe thing that she does now, ugh. Like, just trying to pretend you never knew this person's name and, like, hung out with them, and then he's like, toe? Oh, yeah, toe? You know what I know, toe? It's like, yeah, you know everything I've already told everyone. I got stopped by this person today, and they went, dude, she was saying, like, you were worried you were going to catch a child endangerment charge, and you knew April was going to get charges, and you asked Keanu, should I warn her that she's going to catch charges, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Keanu, sweetie, like, first of all, the name's Aaron. Like, the toe thing is cringe. It's not working for you. Number one, sweetheart, you do know the audience already knows all this. You know, she keeps doing these things where she's like, I have secrets. It's like, you don't. But then again, all women are like that. All women want to think that they're closer to someone and know shit about people that that everybody else knows, but they want to think that it's their information. It's what kind of mean girl high school drama bitches do. And quite frankly, a large percentage of women never grow out of that. So she goes, Aaron thought he was going to catch a child endangerment charge. Yes, I did. I was say it with me, Sweetums, a suspect. When you are a suspect, you go and you speak about everything you know. And they're like, look, you're coming in here, you're talking to us, this is what can happen. And they laid it out. Now, the difference between April and I is I got the fuck out, and I clearly established I'm done with these fucking people. They're cancer. They're rotten to the core. But April just stuck with them, and they trauma bonded, and also she's a parasite. Essentially, doesn't really produce anything, just takes. So she stayed there. So I think that was the police's way of basically telling me, you get the fuck out of there and you stay the fuck out of there. And then, we can make sure that this is the only time we really talk to each other. Versus April, I'm sure they were like, if she stays the fuck out of there, we got no problems. She's out, she's gone. But they just kept flaunting it in front of everybody's face. So they smacked her back with the felony, which was always a possibility. So yeah, Keanu's really bad at shit talking. Like, almost in a way that I want her to keep doing it, because everyone talks about how cringe she is and how awful she is. And I hate to use the phrase, but it's always another win for the toe, because she's so fucking bad at it. It's kind of an insult to people like Patrick Melton, who can talk a little shit. I mean, they're weird and they're desperate, but like, they have a little bit of a rap. Whereas Keanu's just not a performer, unfortunately. Cocktail waitress, maybe. Performer, not really. Gino's the guy that everybody likes in that couple. Gino's the charismatic, fun, you want to be around, you want to hang out with him guy. Keanu's that's Gino's chick. Nick the Milkman with $5 says, just want to say last night proved your point about how alcohol does hinder your performance. However, I can't wait for your performance on Saturday. Thank you, Nick the Milkman. When people say, like, oh, when I drink and podcast, I'm so much better, maybe to you, but to other people, no, it's terrible. It's really awful. Like, you can't perform. Like, you're not, I'm not saying you can't perform drunk. I'm just saying you're not as good drunk. You're not as sharp as you are sober. I knew that last night. I knew that I took a lunch thing, and then I did a 9 holes of golf thing. And then I'm like, I can't go out all day, go to lunch, go golfing, drink, and then ask my fans for money. Like, that's not fair. Free show, you get what you pay for. I know I'm going to be off. And we were, but we had a good time, and you guys threw a few bucks in, and we put that towards the morning, and I appreciated it. But, yeah, doing the show drunk and thinking you're going to be better, not going to happen. Thank you, Adam Simon, for gifting a Steel Toe membership. I appreciate that over on YouTube. All right, we're weird. We're rolling a little bit here, guys. Let's keep it going. 235 is the number. Keep that going. Everybody throw in a good $5, and we'll be set. Buffalo Jockey says Vegas is just a non-floating cruise ship. Extremely overrated. Maybe, but you know what I always tell people who have never been to Las Vegas? It is what you make it. You know, do you like to go in the deserts and shoot machine guns and drive fast cars and go to the Grand Canyon? It can be that. Do you like gambling? It can be all that. Do you like going to great restaurants and trying new things? It can be that. Do you like going out drinking all night and having entertaining shit to do? It can be that. Do you like going to shows? It can be that. You know, it can be really whatever you make it. Now, if you don't like any of those things, then fuck that town. It sucks. And also, it's not cheap anymore. You know, it used to be that one of the draws of Las Vegas was you could do a lot of things on the cheap. You really can't. So I get that. I get Buffalo Jockey's point. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says the viewers should send Aaron on an all-expenses paid trip to Estonia. How funny would that be? Why? Why do you want me to go to Estonia, of all places? Atomic Ray says Rumble ads are more entertaining than Kiki. Yeah. She's just not. I mean, there's just a talent with broadcasting, and she doesn't have it. I mean, she was better when she was like a charming, nice person. But this her trying to mix it up and be tough, it's like watching a midget try to box. You're just like, what are you doing? Like, you're not hurting anybody. Like, she's just like that Michael McDonald sketch at Mad TV where he'd pick fights with people and he'd fall down at their feet. Like, all right, you're tough. She's fucking terrible at it. Like, when I hear people, like, repeat back what she said, and she's like, yeah, when she addresses you and she thinks she's got some own, she goes, oh, yeah, toe? You want to hear something, toe? It's like, ew. Like, you know you're not threatening. And then the thing she'll reveal is like, oh, you mean the thing I told my audience 5 million times? Like, come on. You're just bad at that. I mean, at least guys like Melton would make predictions about, like, April and I, and he'd, like, guess stuff that hadn't happened yet. I mean... Keanu's a less entertaining version of Captain Hindsight. Taste Fairy Ialto says Keanu's number are better than In Hot Water numbers. Yeesh. No, doesn't she do like 80 or 90 people at a time? I think Gino does like 120, 130. Sam Show says I was weirdly impressed with how incredibly shit at this Keanu is. Dr. Rondo says it's astounding she thinks she is good. Well, it's a fake it till you make it thing. You know, her problem is she can't be honest with herself. Like she's not honest with her audience either. She's a fraud in many ways. Like she likes this person one day, then she fucking turns on him without saying anything. Then she likes April and all those guys. And then the next day I don't like them either. I'm not responding to them. I'm not talking to them. And it's like, you just come off as either crazy, you come off as a nut who's mentally unstable, or you come off as someone who's completely inauthentic and untrustworthy. I'll let you pick which one it is. Fauci's Pangolin says, bring Gino on. I'll give you $12 with Kiki. You gave me $6. Sam Show says, when she let everyone know she was going to give the internet her take on the Rackets documents, that was hilarious. Who the fuck cares? Right? Like those documents, the ones that just came out that we did on Monday, she's like, I'm going to give my take on them. Honey, nobody gives a fuck what you think. Like, no offense. I'll even say this about myself. The reason people tune in by the thousands to hear my take when new documents come out is not because I'm this fucking uber talented broadcaster. It's because I was there. They want a bird's eye view, and they wonder if these documents leaking will, click in my head and make me think of any stories I could tell. Because sometimes those documents come in and I go, I didn't think this story was relevant to anything at all. But you know what? Because of this, it is. And we can get a little story time with Aaron going. Alyssa Clips loves it. She's trying to, clip out that fucking super long segment. And she was able to get it down to a manageable level. I was proud of her for that one. She did a good job clipping that. Yeah, and then Keanu going after the Clippers. I mean, you couldn't be a dumber motherfucker for doing that. Wild Saffron says, I can't watch her. All she does is watch Aaron and snipe about him. I can watch him on Rumble and give him shit myself. Stop making stupid choices, Aaron. Thank you, buddy. Atomic Ray says, Kiki would wear a winter coat made of Dalmatian puppies. No, she'd try to get you to think she's the person who would. That's why this new gimmick of hers is failing so hard and people see right through it. She's not that person. That's why it comes off as so inauthentic, try hard, and cringe. She's actually, when she tries, she's a nice person. She's not good at this part. I mean, look, she tried to be like tough badass for 2 days, and then she started crying on other people's shows about clips. She's not cut out for it. And plus, she does this thing where she's such an attention whore, she goes on everybody's show. And it's like, these people aren't going to help you. Like you getting your fucking head lopped off, you getting, as the Keno Casino Boys would say, felted by Little Lemmy, is not helping your campaign. It just makes you look like shit. You know? If you want to watch, people who can go back and forth with Lemmy and I can go back and forth. We don't give a shit. But like, you cry. You go on shows where barely anyone's watching, and then you cry. And you look like shit. King Kong Dong says, I'm happy you're not with those poor bastards from Wilmer and New York anymore. I do seem to kind of just start road runnering past people, don't I? Sam Show says she could go a few she should go do a few lines with April, then we'll care. Yeah, you got to be like involved. You got a bird's eye view in because of me, Keanu. Like you weren't part of this. I invited you in. I made you part of it. And then you went away from that. Like you're not a take that anybody gives a fuck about. They only gave a fuck about you tangentially because you were connected to me. No offense. I was the reason anybody gave a fuck about you. As evidence, you can't get 5 people to fucking watch you unless you're watching something more interesting, which is me. Truth hurts, but you need to hear it. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says you need the Bill Maher drop, and now for the dumb opinion for Keanu's takes. She's like Roman Reigns for 2010 WWE, says Bone Cold. And I'm like Cody Rhodes. Yeah. You took my dream, but not my name. You'll follow me until the end. I am my kingdom. I don't know. I'm just naming the few wrestlers I still know. It is a pretty badass song, though. Numero uno Josh Denny fan. Keanu is pushing hard to get some poor actress a part in the Toe movie that gets cut in the editing process. Yeah, that's really what she is. Like, Keanu, like, if this guy, and this guy is legit, he does work for the studio he claims to, but if we do end up working together and just try, I think maybe part-time I'll just shoot him ideas. Because what he wants me to do is, like, dictate to him, and he writes. He's like, no offense, I don't think you can write. I'm like, a screenplay? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to fucking write a screenplay. So he wants me to, like, dictate shit to him. And then he puts it together. Like, and he's been watching streams and watching stories and stuff like that. And, like, if Keanu ever thought she would get, like, a part in it, she is not part of that. she would not be a part of whatever, Breaking Baldo or whatever the fuck we would end up calling that thing. She wouldn't be in there. I'd say she's more like Bronson Reed. See, like, I don't know Bronson Reed. McBuster says, keep Kiki out. That is exactly what she and her scheming Meemaw want. I mean, you gotta have something to offer. You gotta have something to bring to the table. And unfortunately, she's not that. She's just, I mean, when it comes right down to it, there's no, like, shit talking to be done. I don't need to insult her or anything like that. She's just, quite frankly, not skilled enough to hang in that world. Bone Cold Fleas Austin says, Aaron's story with the Ricadas and Keanu is like peak WWE storytelling. Yeah, it really is Aaron finishing the story, isn't it? Dr. Rondo says, have you ever stayed at Trump Hotel in Vegas? No, because Trump, I don't think Trump Hotel has a gambling license. I don't think so. I've stayed at Monte Carlo, which is now Park MGM. I've stayed at the MGM Grand. I've stayed at Caesars twice. I've stayed at Treasure Island. And I've stayed at... Fuck, there was one other one. Can't remember. Oh, well. My favorite one, Caesar's Palace. I love Caesars. King Kong Dong says the real issue was her wedding being called a disco. It all makes sense now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do a show tonight. I'm very excited. 235 is our number. Go ahead and click one of the links. Make our final evening show of the anniversary week a success, and let us do 30 minutes of overtime. Let's go to the texts. If you're looking for a part-time gig and know how to turn a wrench, let me know. Come on, me? dude. Dr. Rondo says, I heard the MGM has the best payouts. I'm not a slots guy. I play craps and blackjack, so I wouldn't know. It's kind of the same everywhere you go. Craps, blackjack. I don't know. I mean, you can get different tables with different values and different, styles of blackjack at different places, but my favorite place to play cards is, I'm going to go Planet Hollywood. Circa, downtown. And that's going to be it. Planet Hollywood and Circa are my two favorite places to play cards. Craps, I'm going to go Caesar's Palace is great for craps. And God damn it, where did I have a really good goddamn time? Flamingo's craps tables were really fun. I mean, no casino has the best craps tables. It's just who you end up at a table with at the time. Venetian, I had a really fun night at Venetian one time playing craps. Angelica's doll says Aaron has his own corner demon tonight. I don't. I do not have a corner demon this evening. And by the way, mine's a sack demon. Remember, I have a sack demon, not a corner demon. All right, guys. I never heard about this. Apparently, this was like a week or two ago. You hear about this, folks? You see it? Kamala Harris and the coconut tree thing. I had no idea this was a thing until this new TikTok dance trend came out about people doing some kind of coconut tree dance because of some dumb fuck speech Kamala Harris gave. Let's go ahead and check this out. You know what? I get drawn in to people when they write certain things in. I'm about to go to a story, and I'm like, let's click back to the chat one more time, see if there's anything. Sometimes something catches my eye, and I go back to you guys. But after all, you're the paying customers, right? I should pay more attention to you anyway, especially when it's a solo show. Bone Cold Fleas Austin says, I'm currently working right now. Being you ain't a convicted felon, want me to talk to Derek at Midland Armory for a part-time gig. I have thought about whether working 2-3 hours doing something and then not doing evening shows would be a better deal, but nah. I like doing evening shows for you guys until those goals start drying up. We ain't moving at all tonight, but we're only 25 minutes in. Those goals dry up, I get really nervous. I'm like, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm stressed. McBuster says Kiki's Mima was literally pacing back and forth waiting to respond to my talking about Thompson Fireworks and the International Da Nang Vietnam Fireworks Competition Championships. Commies. Oh, Keanu's dad won a prize? Did they not like him? He's a hardworking fireworks guy, right? Why wouldn't you like him? I mean, and he dealt with those two. He's got to be an angel. Let me guess, it's all his fault. He did everything wrong, and they're just all innocent. Yeah, not my experience. Not my experience. Thank you very much, Adam. He says, let's get the fake dono coaster rolling, and throws $10 at us via PayPal. Thank you, buddy. 225 away from tonight. Let's keep those 10s rolling in, and we'll see this number go down really, really quick. Thank you very much. Wild Saffron says, yeah, I saw that she instantly had fire in her eyes. Crazy lizard bitch. Oh, you guys really got her fired up? I heard somebody was in there with a fake Keanu Thompson name, and she had to yell at that person and tell them, that's not really me. It's like, dude, everybody has 16 fake everybody accounts. They know it's not you. You can click on it and see it's not them. It's funny to give Gino some shit too, says McBuster. You know he watches Rumble for marrying a commie. Well, I mean, we all make our choices. We've got to live with them. Like I always say, there but for the grace of God go I when it comes to criticizing people and the women they pick. Certainly, I've been on both sides of it. I've been the biggest part of the problem, and I've been the person worked over by the biggest part of the problem. My first marriage, I was the problem. 100%. Filthy, cheating rat fuck. That was my fault. This second one, just to watch someone change like that is fucking wild. I I've done enough therapy and I've done enough talking to people now to know that it's like, dude, I know you try and blame yourself for a lot of stuff, but that's reaching. I mean, that's reaching. King Kong Dong says, Aaron's no good at picking women. Look, man, I picked decent on the first one. I just acted like a shit. You know? I acted like a motherfucker. And, okay. I'm going to respond to this, I'm going to respond to this email when I get done with the show. That's cool when people write in with nice things like that. That's very cool. People write into me now with like sobriety stories and like they have issues with drugs or like I get emails from people who have partners who are addicts and they're trying to get better. And they ask me for advice on being on the partner side of an addict. And that actually means a lot. I do my best to help them, but I'm still learning too. But I do try to, talk to everyone who comes to me with that kind of stuff. It's important. It's part of like, for me, it's part of rebuilding myself. To me, it's part of changing and getting and doing better and being a more evolved human being is you don't shut the door to people like that are looking for your help because you have experience with it. That's, to me, because of the shitty things I've done, I think that's part of what I owe the world. It's part of what I owe cosmically, so to speak, to make my soul right. So you guys ever want to email me with that stuff? That probably, believe it or not, that probably happens to me 3-4 times a week. People write in with that kind of stuff, and I'm more than happy to help. And I'll also tell you when I can't. I'll also tell you, like, this is the limit of my knowledge. This is the best I can do. Citizen M says, women can't live with them, can't live without them. Christ, what I wouldn't give to fuck Sabrina Carpenter. Okay. Why don't I know Sabrina Carpenter? McBuster says the internet is no place for Kiki. Can't take it. Don't dish it out. You too, Gino. You poser more. Can Gino not take it? I feel like Gino gives and takes pretty good. Pretty good. Trump 45-1 ban me says Keanu destroyed herself. Keanu and her leathery mother trashed you so disgustingly she's dead to me. Keanu and Chrissy stream trashing women's looks. Gross. I'm enjoying Keanu. Gino being flushed. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly been fuck-ups on that end. It's never too late to turn it around. Just start being more authentic is all. Thank you, Adam, for gifting another membership over on YouTube. 220 away from tonight. Thank you very much. Keep it going. Kraken Slappin' says, this is the real question, Atomic Ray. Bread addiction is a hard one to break. Thank you. It's nice with all this other drama shit going on and the Tim Walz stuff and all that. I've gotten a break from bread and queso jokes. It's nice to know those are back. I must be fully healed if you feel like it's bread and queso time again. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, Aaron's advice to partners of addicts, abandon them at some sex freak lawyer's house. I would say get the fuck away from them. If they don't want help, like if they don't want to get better, get the fuck away from them because they're going to kill you. They're going to drag you down. Like, I don't have to ask where I would have ended up. I see where I would have ended up. So, yeah, I actually, numero uno, Josh Denny fan, your advice is not wrong. As funny as it is, it's not wrong. If the person doesn't want to get better and they refuse to even, like, they'll do the shit right in front of you. They'll just do it. And then when you confront them later, they'll pretend they don't do it. It's the craziest fucking thing. You just got to leave that person. You got to abandon them. They're dead. They're done. Whoever they used to be, that person ain't home anymore, man. They ain't home. Or that's who they always were and you just didn't know. Taste Fairy Ialto says, I got to say, Kiki having daddy issues is the least surprising thing I've ever heard. It does help you understand her a little more. Daddy issues makes a lot of sense. It really explains a lot. Thank you very much to Chev Matic for becoming a Baby Boot member. I appreciate that, guys. Thanks for the contributions trickling in this evening. We appreciate it. All right, the coconut tree thing. Let's do this. I think we're all caught up with chats and super chats and memberships and everything else. Let's go and do this coconut tree thing because there's a new dance on TikTok, and I don't know. It better be mocking Kamala Harris, but it's on TikTok, so it's probably calling her some brave Indian black woman. Also, how fucking funny was that clip from that barber shop today? When CNN went to that black barber shop and went, is Kamala black? And they're like, man, is Kamala black? I don't think she is. No, I don't think she black. No, she ain't black. And then they go to the next guy and be like, no, man, she ain't black. Like, she ain't black at all. And then the CNN people just cut it right off. And they're like, fuck, guys, supposed to have, like, it's so funny to watch liberals react when blacks don't do exactly what they're told to do. Like, when black people get to be human beings with their own thoughts, liberals get threatened, and then they accuse everyone else of being a racist. It's like, I don't understand why you're, like, if you're more conservative-minded or moderate-minded, here's where you get mad at anything black. When you see the inner city crime problems. And that's not a black thing. That's I wish you stop breaking the fucking law and stop making these cities dog shit. That's totally fair. Liberal anger at black people is, hey, you black person, think the way I want you to think. Stop thinking for yourself. Like, one of those things is a legit criticism of a quality of life issue. The other one is just straight up racist and demeaning and shitty to people who aren't doing anything wrong. I don't care if you criticize black people when a group of black people are doing something illegal or bad. That's totally fine to criticize people for that. But when a black person wants to speak their mind on the news and you get pissy with them and like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about and Trump is shit and you got to stop defending Trump. You're getting mad at an innocent person for speaking their mind because of the color of their skin. That's you being a shithead racist. You know? So Kamala Harris did this coconut tree thing. It was like a couple weeks ago. I totally missed it. So this must have been when she first got nominated or when she first was taking Biden's place. Let's check it out.
The culture of the environment. How are we approaching this issue in a way that we also understand we cannot support and help our young people if we also don't also look at the context in which those young people live and are being raised, which means necessarily, because our edict and our mission is not to come out and say, well, we could do this better. Part of the extension of the work you will do is, yes, focused on our young leaders and our young people, but understanding we also then have to be clear about the needs of their parents and their grandparents and their teachers and their communities. Because none of us just... She
never, it's so frustrating listening to her talk because she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Like, it's not going anywhere. Again, I keep making the comparison. She's a kid who didn't read the book and has to write a book report the morning school starts. And she starts going, well, why don't we talk about what we have to do to raise up our children? And then you go, okay, are you going to get to that? And she's like, because children are people, but they're smaller. And the children have brains, and the brains think about these things. And then so are you going to talk about like your tips for being a society that's better for kids? Or are you just going to keep explaining what things are because you don't have a fucking thought in your head? It used to be funny to listen to. I find it really frustrating now that she's running for fucking president. Let's go to the phones. Hello, sir.
Aaron, it's OJ. How you doing, my brother?
OJ Simpson, how are you, buddy? We'll get back to Kamala in a second here, guys. We've got OJ Simpson on the line. What's going on, Juice?
Well, that's what I was calling you about, the old Kamala, and I can settle it once and for all if she's black or not.
Okay.
Would you like me to settle it?
I want OJ Simpson to settle for us whether or not Kamala Harris is a black woman. Go ahead, OJ.
Okay, but first you got to settle something for me. We got a little bed up in here, and you may not like it, but you're not going to get my answer till you give me yours, and that's who had better kitties, April or Kayla. Now, don't lie. Don't lie to OJ.
The latter, OJ.
Okay. After further review, we have come to the realization Kamala is, in fact, a sister. Her middle name is Moon Cricket.
No, OJ, I don't think that's true. And isn't that a racial slur for black people?
I didn't name her. I'm just reporting the news. I got it wrong.
All right. Thank you, OJ. Appreciate it. All right. Well, OJ Simpson calling into the show. It's always nice when OJ can pay us a visit. Here's something. Someone says maybe for tomorrow, Tiffany Henyard's super mayor situation took an interesting turn Monday. This is only a link to a summation video so you can be up to date. Awesome. Yeah, we'll talk Tiffany Henyard tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to make a note of that in the prep sheets for tomorrow. I got a lot of JD Vance talking shit about Tim Walz stuff for tomorrow too. Tiffany Henyard. Talk about her. I love that bitch. She's fucking obnoxious. I would pay $10,000 for a threesome with Kiki and Leatherface just to say I did it, sir. That is grotesque. That is disrespectful, quite frankly. GFR says, Aaron, you never made it further than Las Vegas. I mean, I've been to like Galveston, San Antonio, Nashville, Orlando, Miami, Louisville, New York, places like that. But no, never out of the country, I will admit. I don't have an interest to. Ireland and Italy, maybe. Those are the two places that I think I'd like to go. Anywhere else? I live in America. Living in America. Ha, ha. I like that better than other countries. I know that makes me like an ugly American, but it's just the way I feel. All right, we got another call coming in.
Call from
Jimmy.
Uh-oh. Jimmy, what's going on?
Hello, Aaron. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you, Jimmy?
Good, good. I would like to just say something about Kamala being black.
Sure. Hot topic.
If that's okay.
Hot topic tonight, Kamala Harris being black.
I know for a fact that she's not black.
Really?
Because she was not bred with a big black man and a big black woman, and she does not have an extra bone in her foot to make her faster.
Is this? Oh my God, Jimmy the Greek. Nice to hear from you. We're getting a lot of calls from the afterlife today. Yeah, you know what? You are the arbiter on what makes someone black. You're right. So you're saying that Kamala Harris indeed does not pass the Jimmy the Greek black woman test.
No, she is not fast. She is not athletic. She cannot jump for a throw-up ball, in the end zone, from the 50-yard line. She could. I guarantee she cannot catch that.
Jimmy the Greek. It's interesting, Jimmy the Greek, because you are a lifelong football handicapper and you did nothing but basically be a sports fan. And did you just say she can't jump for a throw-up ball?
Darren, I'm not a basketball fan. Never have been. Never will be.
But you said a throw-up ball in the end zone.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were talking the black people's sport and talking about basketball. But no, she could definitely not catch a 50-yard throw from Aaron Rodgers at Ford Stadium. Yeah, it's not happening.
All right.
There's no way.
Jimmy, I tell you what, if I don't let you go, you're going to get canceled again. But thank you. There we go. Jimmy the Greek calling in. People want to debate whether or not Kamala Harris is black. I gotta let them have their opinions, right? MSO says, I think what Aaron was trying to say in regards to that threesome is show me the money. No. Thank you very much. $5 coming in over on PayPal. Says, anonymous fake dono. Oh, I love the fake donos, guys. Keep throwing your fake donos at us over on Rumble and PayPal and all that, and Streamlabs and all the good places. YouTube. 215 is our number for tonight. Let's, you know the drill. Get her under 200 by 8 o'clock, and we're looking good. Thank you, guys. So let's continue on this coconut tree thing. I don't get why this is a viral sensation. It's just more retarded yammering from fucking Kamala Harris about it. To teach our children, we need to know that children live in a society, and society is a... It's just I want to play the puppy who lost his way answer from fucking Billy Madison every time she talks.
Live in a silo. Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
You don't make any fucking sense. I hate women like this who just say stupid shit and then act like they just got really deep with you. You exist in a silo of a coconut tree of all the things that came before you. And then they have the audacity to have this like grin of like, I just gave you something heavy on their face. And it's like, you understand you're catching up with me right now. Like I'm 10 miles ahead of you on this topic. Don't act like you're talking down to me. This is kind of what happens when like you can tell women who have never been told no in their lives or they've never been criticized in their lives is they just get this unearned confidence and then they go out in the world and embarrass themselves.
So all of this is part of the work of this group of extraordinary leaders who will help inform and advise how we think about our work. And like the Secretary said, give us feedback, give us counsel, give us direction.
Okay. You suck and you should quit public life. There. Well, you asked me for my opinion. You wanted counsel. You wanted direction. That way, towards the exit. I don't know that she's an improvement over Joe Biden. I'm not convinced of that yet.
And how we best achieve our mission. Doing it in a way that we fully understand the challenges and the opportunities. And so with that, it is my great honor to swear you in as members of the President's Advisory Commission on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence.
So that's what the coconut tree thing is? That's it? It's a coconut tree. That's the whole deal that's gone viral on TikTok now. It's fucking stupid. She's a complete idiot. It's baffling. Like, I think if she wins, we should just cancel voting. And just let a group of elders pick our leaders from now on. Like, we shouldn't be allowed to vote. If you see someone that stupid and they say, I want to lead the way for everyone else to follow, and the majority of people choose that person, they choose that human being, we don't need to be, we haven't earned an opinion anymore. Like, we shouldn't get an opinion at that point. If you pick that, you can't be trusted with the ability to choose your leaders. We gotta figure out a different way. Let's go ahead and throw a big thank you out, and then we'll figure out where this coconut tree thing went to. Because now there's a TikTok dance craze, and I'm sure it's awful. Another anonymous fake dono for $5 over on PayPal. Thank you very much, guys. Keep it up. Keep throwing in those 5s and 10s. It's going down. 210 is the number. Get her under 200 by the top of the hour. You're doing great. I'd say she's dumb as a rock, says MSO, but that would be insulting to a rock. Well, let's see what this coconut tree dance thing is. This is apparently a big thing on TikTok. The newest trend is a Kamala Harris coconut dance. Creators are dancing to remixes of Kamala's speeches. So these are people who like her? Oh, of course they're people who like her. Like, what? What does that do that it should be allowed to vote? I'm just asking, like, what experience? What knowledge? There should be a test. For having children, for voting, there are certain things where because of our degraded intelligence level as a society, we've maybe got to put a few more safeguards on our freedoms in order to protect them. Because these dipshits on TikTok, their opinion matters just as much as yours or mine. And that doesn't seem fair. It's almost like, why am I following the news? Why am I keeping up on this shit? Why am I figuring out what the Dow did? Why am I trying to figure out what taxes are going to look like next year? My opinion and my information and my knowledge matters just as much as these assholes. You know, they're right. If you think about it, like, these three women are right. And we're stupid. We're wrong. Because, okay, following the Dow, following politics, following all this stuff, what has it gotten you? A headache, right? These three bimbos probably walk around carefree all fucking day. And it's because they don't know anything about this shit. They just know coconut dances on TikTok. What a wonderful pea-brained way to live. It's easy. Let's see what the Kamala Harris coconut tree dance is. Coconut, 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 coconut. Yeah, it's official. TikTok dances are reason enough for China to nuke us. I'm ready. It's over. It's done. If there was a mushroom cloud that sucked all of this away, I'd be for the mushroom cloud. And whoever launched it, whoever caused it. Because this... Where did white women get so much fucking confidence? Like this unearned confidence. We gave it to them, didn't we? We told them their poetry was really good. We told them that they're really deep and interesting and exciting. And then they just got vapid. This is kind of like, as dudes, this is kind of our fault. We got weak. And then they just started doing shit. And because they got great tits and everyone wants to fuck them, nobody pulls them aside and goes, you have to stop doing this. You're debasing yourself and humiliating yourself. You look like shit. Like, this is bad.
Everything is in context. My mother used to, she would give us a hard time. Coconut, 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 coconut.
Is that Jackson Mahomes, or is that just a different gay dude?
Everything is in context. My mother used to, she would give us a hard time. Coconut, 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 coconut.
We're done, dude. Like, we don't need to vote. Either start testing people and start having qualification tests as you register to vote, and then you have to re-up every 4 years, or let's cancel voting. Because I would rather have no one vote anymore than have everybody be allowed the same access to voting. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in high voter turnout. I don't believe in everybody getting a voice. I don't believe everybody should have a voice. And if I don't pass the test, fuck it, then I don't pass the test. I don't get to vote that year. But none of these people are going to pass it. They just yell abortion at the top of their lungs. And then you'd be like, all right, what do you know about this, that? Like, I think you should have to get within 3% of the tax bracket you're in order to vote. I think you should be able to name at least 3 Supreme Court justices. You should be able to, first of all, the easiest thing, you should be able to name your United States senators and congresspeople and your state representative and state senator and governor. You should be able to pass those things and then maybe know some basic definitions, and then you can vote. But if you do this on TikTok, I at least want you tested to figure out if you qualify. And if you do, well, then I guess it's just unfortunate for the rest of us. You're a retard who goes on TikTok a lot, but you know enough to, I guess, vote. Ugh. It's just, it's really difficult. And it is. Their opinion matters the same as mine. Like Citizen M, for example, is a flaming lefty, but at least Citizen M can tell you basics about how the country works and shit. So he should be able to vote. I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of Republicans who are going to be kicked off the rolls too, because they're toothless retards. So I think my way of testing people is the best way to do it. Or, like I said, cancel voting. Just be done with it. Dr. Rondo says her campaign is paying $10,000 a post to these tards. Oh, well, shit. I gotta learn how to dance then. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says the only ones who even know what's going on here is me and Citizen M, but for some reason, you all have strong opinions on it. I could pass the test. I could vote. But I know these people dancing couldn't. I know. Citizen M says, I'm just wanting to be depicted in the Lifetime movie. Fuck, I'm a screenwriter. Get me on board. I can't, buddy. I can't. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, wow, Aaron knows less about the American Constitution than a foreigner. I know about the American Constitution. I just don't know if it works anymore. There, I said it. I don't know if it works. I think the American experiment requires a certain IQ, and I think we keep slipping under the bar. You know? I think you need to be relatively educated and informed in order for a republic to work. I don't know. I think we missed it. I think we're done. I think we passed the threshold. Dive Bar with $1 says, don't you think foremost people should be able to recite the Bill of Rights as how they always claim they're voting to preserve our rights? Yeah, like if you gave these broads, like, what's the Bill of Rights, they'd probably think abortion was in there. King Kong Dong says, no more women and minorities voting with Aaron logic. I'll have it at the next Klan meeting on the agenda. There'd be plenty of minorities and women who could vote. Fucking the smart ones who know their shit when it comes to politics. And those people are just as likely to be liberal as conservative. MSO says, so what you're saying is Citizen M was dropped on his head as a child. Not at all. Not at all. All right, guys, 2:10 away from tonight's goal. We got 7 minutes until the top of the hour. Just for appearances, let's get that under 200 by the top of the hour, and then we'll be at a good springboard to knock out tonight's goal and do 30 minutes of overtime. Whew. Boy, we've got, like I said, we've got ourselves a show. We've got a lot of clips to show you. Here's another one. This kind of makes it look like I'm picking on women tonight. Far be it from me. I had someone ask me yesterday. They said, I was out somewhere and they went, hey, so why did you exactly get kicked off the radio? Like, they never heard the story, and I had to tell the story, and I was like, yeah, it was bad. I fucking went after. I told them the truth. I went after this radio show because I wanted to be syndicated. So I shit on them and said we should be on their station. They suck. And then the woman talks shit about us on their show. And I thought, we're going back and forth. We're doing the fucking dozens. Let's do this thing. And then I started really shitting on her and really ripping on her. And then she fucking cries bully after she was like, they're in a basement doing a show and they suck and they're terrible. So we're like, all right, I hope a fucking pit bull eats you, you dummy. And, we got meaner, but that's the name of the game. Like, you go low, we go lower. But then she went, I'm bullied. It was cyberbullying and this and that. It's like, shut the fuck up. It was a radio fight. And then some chick with 200,000 TikTok subscribers clips 6 minutes of a 2-hour rant and goes, isn't he the worst? It's like, yeah, if you listen to all those jokes without the laughter afterwards and you just paint it like I'm making a fucking no ma'am statement, yeah, it sounds terrible. They asked me to explain the whole situation again, and I just got fucking mad about it again. I did wonder out loud, though. I was like, I wonder if the station would have let us go, because their whole thing was, you have to give us control of your streaming accounts and your socials. And my whole thing was, you can just delete those then. You can wipe them out and then fire me so I can't leave and take my audience with me. So I just quit. I was like, I'm not coming back. I've always contested that they were going to fire me. But maybe they weren't. Maybe they would have kept me around. But here's a woman. I think this is in Australia. I could be wrong. Here's a woman who I think, to me, best illustrates the degradation of white people. Like, the going insane of white folks. It's this woman. White people have this exclusive feature where, and it's some white people, it's not all, where they have this tremendous guilt for shit they didn't do. It's amazing. You don't see, like, black people going like, boy, I sure am upset at myself for Shaka Zulu slaughtering all those tribes. It's like, no. Asian people, you don't hear Mongolians go, oh, man, I'm sorry for Genghis Khan. It's a terrible time. It's like, but white people some white people feel the need to, like, debase themselves and criticize themselves for shit other people did when they weren't even alive or related to them. And it's like, it's gross, it's disgusting, but it's also like, it's a pussy way to live. And also, you know why a lot of these white people do it? They do it for self-aggrandization. They do it so they can look better. Oh, I look woke, I look sensitive. And it's like, no, you just look like a shithead. You know? I want to watch this woman now say feels ashamed for being white. You should never feel ashamed to be white. You should never feel ashamed to be black. You should never feel ashamed to be, because it's a fucking color. It's a race, you know? It doesn't dictate who you are.
Hopefully,
be a seed of apology from the white community for what we are seeing, because my colleague today said to me, I'm ashamed of being white, and I feel that too.
Why? Explain that to me. Why? What have you done that makes you ashamed of being white? You've done nothing. Believe me, you've done nothing. Certainly haven't contributed. But this idea that like you have to be ashamed for being white is so foreign to me, because the people who say it, they can never tell you why. They're just like, oh, you don't know, you don't understand. Well, then you need to check your privilege. Check my... What is there a dipstick somewhere that I haven't pulled out in 37 years? I check my... No, I'm asking you. I don't need to check shit. You're the one who said you're ashamed of being white. I'd like to know why. Well, because of slavery. You didn't do slavery. Unburden yourself. You're fine. You did not do slavery. As a matter of fact, your ancestors probably weren't even here yet when slavery was going on. Well, what about the Native Americans? Fucking, what about them? You didn't do that either. You're fine. You're okay. You don't have to worry about the Native Americans either. It's just this... And forgive me for being cynical, but I really do feel like it's just to get attention for themselves. So it's not even authentic when they do it. King Kong Dong says the shit kicker was some cunt from Washington State called sponsors to cancel because of you. Oh yeah, that's true. But I was in charge of all the sponsors. We only lost like 2. And one of them said, when this all dies down, I'll come back. Buffalo Jockey says Adrian Washington was smart for taking cover and dodging bullets during that shit show of a broadcast. Really? Well, you can't argue that. King Kong Dong says, no, Gary was for sure going to fire you. Dinosaur Fuel says, Aaron, I feel bad about what Hitler did to the Jews. Jesus Christ, Dinosaur Fuel, I can't read the rest of that. My God, man. I got to stop. I might have to stop reading shit blind pretty soon. Throw in a few bucks, guys. We need to get a move on. We got about 400 of you checking out the show. I appreciate that. But we're 210 away, and we need to make some moves. Dive Bar with $1 says people who apologize for the actions of others should have been piked and thrown over a cliff at birth. Well, you got to give them time to make the statement. You know, they're not doing that at birth. Bone Cold says that was some of the funniest bits you did while on the radio. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is our last evening show of anniversary week, so I will not stand for us missing the goal. That would embarrass me too much because it's 10 years. It's a 10-year anniversary. We're 2 days before the actual anniversary, which is Friday's show. So we got to knock this out. So you got to click the links. You have a responsibility tonight. I'm going to say that. You have a responsibility as a Steel Toe fan to click the links, Streamlabs, PayPal, and Venmo, and throw us a few bucks, or do it on YouTube or do it on Rumble and knock that thing out. You guys have, let's do it for the anniversary. Let's do it for 10 years. Let's increase the streak. I'd really appreciate it. Because now in the next hour, I'm going to have to worry about it because we're over $200. This is what I wanted to play this morning. This was the Gavin McKinnis thing, but the only clip we had was Kevin Brennan interrupting it, so it was watching a clip of a clip of a clip. We used to do a show on Compound Media, and we used to fill in for Anthony when he was sick, and, we used to do Gino's show and all that stuff. Anthony recently just really got his fucking dick hard over me because when Keanu was being an ungrateful fucking backstabbing twat, she falsely claimed that I'd ever abused any woman ever, which is, again, it's so disgusting and horseshit that if you believe it, you and I just don't have time. I don't have time for you. But she was falsely claiming that. And she said, well, yeah, I hate him for that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, this is fair. Like, you talk to Anthony regularly and Missy, and okay, I love Anthony. Anthony's an influence of mine. And, you know, he can get upset and pissy about this if he wants, but it was never meant to be derogatory or anything like that. It was just straight up asking a question. He has a guilty plea on his record, and he said he bit a woman's hand, abused her. And that's forgivable, and that's fine, and that's okay. Because Daddy Anthony's, let's be honest about it, Keanu can't dare criticize him because he's got the clout, and that's what she wants. So it's different. So he gets a different set of standards. That's fine. Just don't clutch your pearls and act like you're being moral when you talk about me, when clearly if I was in the right position with the right amount of clout, you wouldn't dare fucking open your mouth, you phony. So he got upset and offended about that. And it's like, dude, you took that the wrong way. You got a little too sensitive. You know, the guy who brought us Opie and Anthony got a little too sensitive about what I was trying to say. So let's go to this Gavin McKinnis thing. Apparently, the people who got fired over at Compound are still mad at Gavin, and they're still talking shit about him. And I don't understand why. I mean, you should be so grateful that that fucking soup kitchen called Compound Media stayed open as long as it did. You know, the fact that those guys collected a paycheck while drawing no revenue for the company is actually pretty, I mean, it's a gift, really, that for 10 years that thing stayed open, and Anthony in the last few years was dumping his own money into it just to keep these people paid. That's a pretty good guy, like doing you a pretty big favor. So Gavin comes in. Anthony's like, look, my health hasn't been great. I don't like being the boss. I'm putting my own money into this. Gavin, you're a business guy. We're good friends. Let's merge, and you kind of handle the business end of it. And the first thing Gavin did when he took over the business end is he said, we're letting the lease on that building expire, and we're firing all these fucking hangers-on that you have. Garrett, Drew, Steve, Gino, Chrissy, all these people who do a show, but they don't draw money. And that's not an insult, because I do like Gino, and I like Chrissy. She, like, her and Keanu both have gotten really weird lately. It's just strange. But there's this disconnect here that these people don't understand. This wasn't about Gavin doesn't like you. This wasn't about Gavin thinks you're bad or anything like that. Gavin looked at the numbers. You guys didn't draw money. Nobody canceled Compound Censored because these people went away, or at least not a significant amount of people, because Gavin clearly made money on this deal because he seems very happy with the direction he took. But people are still bitching about it. People who got fired are still upset about it. And I understand being upset with being fired, but being upset with Gavin is the epitome of did what he had to do. None of these people criticize Anthony at all, even though he okayed all of it. Again, he kind of got off scot-free because Gavin got to be the boss and the bad guy. But Gavin, apparently, even Gavin reaches his breaking point with this shit and had to say something about it yesterday.
What's up? But Garrett was on Michael Malice's show. Hey, don't blame me for bringing this up. I want to let sleeping dogs lie, but God seems to think we need to discuss it. Garrett said that he used to look up to me, and now he hates the sight of my face. There's also this ongoing allegation that I enjoyed firing him. I mean, I can show you my texts where my wife that day said, how did that go? And I went, that sucked. No one enjoys firing people. Right. I have said that there's instances where I have no problem firing people when they're totally inept and it's not working out. Like if someone threw 40 miles an hour and they asked me if they could pitch for the Mets, I'd say, no, sorry, I would.
Right, that doesn't mean he's enjoying it. And by the way, like Garrett probably, because Gavin did it in a cold, matter-of-fact way, that means he enjoyed it. No, that's how bosses fire people. They don't want to be emotional. They don't want to start a fight. The last thing they want to do is get a fired employee worked up and get a fired employee emotional, because you just made that person someone with a lot less to lose than they had 10 seconds ago. And someone with less to lose is a lot more dangerous than someone who's got something to lose. So he fired them kindly. Well, not kindly. He fired them, coldly. And he fired them in a way where he's like, look, matter of fact is this, you're all out of jobs, bing, bang, boom, it's done. People are like, oh, he enjoyed doing that. No, he didn't enjoy doing it. He just did it in a way that was, it was a clean kill. That's it. He's not supposed to hug you and hold you and let you cry on his shoulder and find you a new job or anything like that. He was tasked with a job. Like Gavin McKinnis, if you think about it, was put in a shitty situation where he got to acquire this entity and make more money. But the person who ran that entity was like, you have to fire the people. Like, I'm the nice guy, so you've got it. So Gavin got put in the bad guy position, and then he tries to handle the bad guy position as best he can. Then people get pissed at him for being a bad guy. But none of these fucking people will ever criticize Anthony for a second. And I don't think Anthony deserves criticism, but they criticize Gavin when Gavin did what Anthony should have done years ago. And he wasn't a dick about it. He was just matter of fact about it. He was a boss. I figured it out. That's what these guys all have a problem with. They hadn't had a boss for years. And finally a boss came in and said, you don't draw money, you gotta go. That's the way the business works. And people took that as he enjoyed firing us. No, he just, again, he had a job to do. He did it.
Feel nothing. Even once my mother, back in Vice days, she she submitted an article to Vice. And I didn't feel bad saying no because she put herself out there. But in that article, in that interview, he says that I said, how about that Luby, huh? And he goes, fuck you, Gavin. I'm not going to commiserate with you. Luby's my friend, but you did commiserate with me. Garrett said, yeah, I don't know why they hired her. Well, we were cutting all the fat, and then they tell me we have this press woman. That's why I went to you to say, can you believe this Luby shit? Like, why is she talking so much? And she's got to go, obviously. And he was like, why are you talking to me about my friend? Because we did in the past.
So, yeah, and that's where you're not going to be able to pull one over on Gavin with this kind of stuff because he is no bullshit. I was going to say to a fault, but not even to a fault, just to an aggressive degree. He'll say what needs to be said, and if it upsets you, you know, Gavin is Bradley Cooper's character in War Dogs, where he goes, hey, the next time we talk, learn the difference between we have a problem and you have a problem. Because this is, you know, how you're taking this is not my problem.
Oh, that's when she first got there?
No, like 2 weeks before. Garrett was like, I don't know. I remember when they hired Luby, we were cutting corners, and then they started hiring people. I didn't understand. He wasn't like, fuck her or anything. Garrett's never said a bad word about anyone except me.
That's funny. Garrett's never said a bad word about anybody except me. Yeah, I really don't think what Gavin had to do was that bad.
He's also the reason I hate Michael Malice, if we're spilling beans.
Ooh, Gavin
because I said
Mike. Malice,
blah, blah, blah. I discovered him.
He did, that's
He
true.
was a fan. And then he said, yeah, he doesn't say the same about you. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, he'll be talking, and he'll say, yeah, that Gavin, he's not the good guy everyone thinks he is. He's actually a pretty shitty person.
People think you're a good guy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ryan Katsu-Rivera nailed it before I was going to say the same thing. Who thinks Gavin's a good guy? Gavin's a funny guy. Gavin's an entertaining guy. Gavin can be a smart guy. But I don't think even Gavin would list as one of his qualities, I'm a super nice fella. I'm a good fella. I don't think so. I don't think it's a priority of his. Gavin's not the nice guy everyone thinks he is. Nobody thinks Gavin's a nice guy. In fact, if you've watched him, at least his public persona is purposely kind of a prick.
Guy? I'm unfamiliar with that.
I'm paraphrasing. And so I thought, that motherfucker, he's so smarmy to my face and he's talking shit behind my back after everything I've done for him. And by the way, Malice keeps saying, yeah, I've burned a lot of bridges. I haven't burned any bridges.
Well,
I get along with everyone at the Blaze. My old ad agency, Rooster, we still talk on the phone all the time.
Oh, okay.
I obviously don't get along with Vice after being ousted and denied hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
And that's not exactly the ingredients for a great...
That is a fucked up situation. That is, you know, people do that when you're a public persona and they think they know shit. And if you don't realize that they're retarded and they don't know what they're talking about and Father forgive them and all that stuff, it can get to you. It used to get to me. Now I laugh it off because people just don't know, you know, your life. But like when people are like, so-and-so thinks this about him or they do this and they hate him this. And it's like, you mean this person I talk to on a fucking regular basis and we hang out and we do all it? Really? That's fucking interesting. You'll know when I know that someone hates me because I usually find out at the same time you do, like the Keanu thing. But then again, Keanu doesn't know her fucking head from a hole in the ground at this point. She's really turned around.
Great friendship. But after that, I mean, Crowder, I don't think that bridge is not sustainable. Does anyone who's worked with Crowder get along with him? I'm not even mad at him. So I don't know where Malice gets that from. But anyway, the next time I saw him, he was like, hey, how's it going? I was like, fuck you. I shoved him. And that was because of Garrett.
I was there for that. You pushed him against the wall. And then
that's kind of bullying, isn't it? Like, Malice is this little twinky guy. And Gavin's a relatively big dude, isn't he? Is he 6 feet? I don't know. Scots are weird. They look bigger than they are. Irishmen, too. I think it's because of the aggressive stance they put on. You're like, oh, he must be a big guy. And then you see him, and you're like, 5'8". What the fuck? But you don't shove Michael Malice. He's this little spindly guy. He just seems like a gay guy. And you're just going to shove him? Damn, Gavin, that's cold. He probably enjoyed it.
Looked at me, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
So these guys are out there in the wild. They're going to see how hard it is to make money, but this is what I said. You did an excellent job for a company that generated enough money to pay you forever. This is me texting Garrett. You're the victim of bad management, New York City, Anthony's health, etc. You're no Eric Adams. I never saw you as an employee. I looked up to you as someone who knew the industry way more than me. This sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah. I said, my name is Mudd, and it's not likely I can help you in the future, but I am forever indebted to you and will be happy to help if you ever need anything at all, unlikely as that may be. That's what I said to Garrett.
That's what he said to Garrett. Yeah, he's like, he specifically told him he didn't like doing this. So I think these guys are desperate. I think there's, like Gavin said, they have to go out in the wild now, and they're finding out that it's fucking hard. And those are the deals that Gavin offered Chrissy and Gino. Eat what you kill. We'll pay you based on the amount of money you draw. And what they found out was they don't draw a lot of money. Like, I don't draw a lot of money. I got to, shake rattle a can at you guys, even on my fucking anniversary weeks. That's just the fact of the business. I was a small town #1 talk show host that had to try to go to the internet and sustain it. But, like, these other people who, like, started thinking who the fuck they were. And then they go to Gavin and they're like, oh, he's a bad guy, and oh, he enjoyed firing us. It's like, no, you needed to go. You weren't worth what you were getting paid. It was just a simple business decision. Dive Bar with $1 says, I don't know who any of these people are. I only know who you are because of NLO, no offense. Hey, that's great. Look, I got a fan because of fucking Patrick. I'm guessing Compound Media really wasn't anything worth a crap to start with since I never heard of it. I mean, it drew over $1 million a year. It just kind of overpaid people. That's all. Got out over its skis a little. Guys, we are 2:10 away for this morning. We got 45 minutes left. I always hate doing this part. I do got to ask, let's throw in a little bit. We're what, $30 in? Made $30 tonight. Not sustainable, as Gavin would say. So go ahead, click that PayPal link, click all the links, throw us some money, throw us a few bucks if you enjoy our program. We do need your donations to stay alive. And begging is a part of it. Begging, Yeah, somebody in the chat saying that Melton is counting your money. Yeah, a lot of these guys count my money. Look, I pay people. I brought people in from the radio thing. I feel responsible for them. I've paid who I could pay. I overpaid everyone at the beginning, and I really feel like a fucking idiot for that because then as those, 10 sponsors that we had were like, all right, you guys got the training wheels off now. You're good. We can step away now. You're not a local show anymore. And they walked away. Or they closed down in some cases. Or we pissed them off, like MyPillow. But I overpaid everyone. I had to start cutting their pay. I had to start letting people go, and that really sucked. But, when you're a small little operation like we are, and you got to keep people going, it's cute that people count our money, but, I know what we need. I've got it down to the number, and that's just the way it is. Missing Link with $2 says, Nick tried to snitch you out for streaming his bail. Yeah, we talked about that a week ago or so. That he asked the judge, he's like, is it okay if a guy who might be a witness for the prosecution, is broadcasting the bail thing and talking about it. Yeah, it's fine. I broadcast a clip of somebody else's clip. Suck my dick. How's that? It's the desperation on that is interesting. It is. Garrett got really mad when I pointed out that he has grandma blinds in his apartment, says annoyed Wawa supervisor. Gonna suck when Chins needs to move back to Long Island with mom and dad, respectfully. See, like, but you don't need to wish that on somebody. Like, I still hope that all these people, pull it together and figure something out and get to do what they love. But that doesn't change the fact that, compound was no longer sustainable, essentially. 40 minutes left, guys. If you hear me right now, 210 is the number. How much overtime, you say? Do you have a super chat ready? 30 minutes of overtime if we hit the 210, but we are getting fucked in the ass right now. I mean, 210 is like basically I should have taken the night off. People would have gotten mad at me if I would have taken the night off, but I didn't know we weren't going to make dick, and this was going to be bad. So, guys, rally up. I need you. If you like this show and you want it to stay on the air, paying up is part of it. And with the amount of people we've got, it really is just a nickel here and there if everybody pulls together. So click those links. They're going to be in the chat a lot in the next half hour or so until we get this down to a manageable level, just because I get nervous. You know me. We run this thing on a shoestring budget. We have for a couple of years now. This is sad. I talk about this guy a lot because of the movie Moneyball. Billy Beane died at the age of 60 yesterday. Bean, who served as the league's senior VP for diversity, equity, and inclusion. No, get the fuck out of here. No, he didn't. And special assistant to the commissioner, passed away after a year-long battle with acute myeloid leukemia. Bean, one of the first openly gay players in MLB, was first diagnosed with the disease in September, but only went public with the news during the MLB winter meetings in December. Wait, the Moneyball guy is gay? Same Billy Beane? Why don't they say anything about him being the GM of the Oakland A's? Or this is a different Billy Beane, right? Is fucking Billy Beane gay? Did I live under a rock? Who is Moneyball about? Oh, Billy Beane. I knew it. B-E-A-N-E. Billy Beane and Billy Beane are two different guys. Whew. Here I thought he fucking died. All right, Billy Beane, B-E-A-N. Died. Oh, Mad Dog Russo did the same thing I did. Chris Mad Dog Russo announced death of wrong Billy Beane in live on-air blunder. Thank fucking God. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Beloved Chatter with $2 says, everyone counts your money, including you, 87 times a show. Well, yeah, why wouldn't I? Weird own, bro. Yes, I'm the one who should be counting my money. It would be irresponsible to do anything else. Thank you very much to, we got to throw a thank you out here. Let's hit refresh. Thank you to, I don't know if I should, this is a company name. I don't know if I should say it. Thank you to TD. Says, when can I co-host? Well, if I knew who you were, I could answer that. Meredith with $45 says, happy anniversary. Thank you, Meredith. We need a few more of those. That's what we need to get this fucking party started. 160 away from tonight's goal and overtime. Come on, everybody. Everybody follow Meredith's example. Be awesome. Be a pal. And let's knock this thing out. It's the last, last evening show before the 10th anniversary. Camel Toe's economy has me and the rest of your audience scared, says one person. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, Melton told everyone on his last show that you're a bad person and anyone who gives you money is retarded, FYI. Oh, really? Was it a rerun? Was it a Melton? Has he run out of things to say about me? He's bad, and if you give him money, you're bad. It's like, you might have a legit mental illness if it's bothering you that much. I can't think of anything that affects you as little as whether or not someone gives me money. You should want me to stay in business. I'm the only reason you have a show that anyone watches. So get over that, get on whatever medication you need to get on and get with the program, my man. $10 from Christy. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Now look at everybody chipping in. This is a common thing with Steel Toe that you'll learn. Is that slow. Aaron gets nervous, and then they go, ha-ha, I made him nervous. He's sweating a little bit. Here's a bunch of money. Pray X12 with $4.99 says, happy 10th anniversary. Thank you for being a part of saving my boyfriend. Or no, saving my BF, my best friend. Thank you for being a part of saving my best friend. She left her alcoholic hubby after 10 years and 2 kids. They are free. Love, Gavin Redeye. So wait, I was a part of saving your best friend. Like what? They heard my story and they were like, oh, I can leave this addict and I can save my family and save my children. Yeah, I mean, it's important. You should do that. I mean, didn't cause it, can't control it, can't cure it. Those are the 3 C's. Remember those all the time. It's like an addict told me, an alcoholic told me once. He said, you a doctor? I said, no. He goes, alcoholism's a disease. And you aren't qualified to treat that disease. Why would you feel bad about that? He goes, if I tell you I have cancer, are you going to cry and feel shitty because you can't cure my cancer? You're not qualified. It's not for you. It's like, damn, fucking good point. MSO says, are you going to live stream the anniversary or at least video some of it? I think we'll video the anniversary. I don't think we'll live stream it because our crowd gets fucking rough, especially when the drinks start flowing on the language part of things. So probably not. Again, thank you, Christy, for the $10. Where are we at now? 145 away from tonight's goal. Thank you guys so much. You got about a half hour before we rattle the cans. So if you're feeling like giving us a couple of bucks, join everybody else. And let's we get a few more Merediths out there. We'll have this thing knocked out in no time. Okay, so Billy Bean is a different Billy Bean than the Billy Bean from Moneyball. Whew. What did Mad Dog do, though? I want to know how Mad Dog fucked up. Because Mad Dog's like one of the biggest names in sports broadcasting. I think does he still do a radio? I think he does a radio show still. He's on ESPN. I like him. Some people don't like his voice. They think he's kind of overbearing and annoying. But I think he gives great takes. I think he does an awesome job with sports analysis. He's one of the best guys out there. I like Stephen A. Smith too. A lot of people don't like Stephen A. Smith rubs him the wrong way. I like him too. I like anybody who's really opinionated, gives a hot sports take. I'm a dude. I like that kind of shit. I don't care if they sound like an asshole. But Chris Mad Dog Russo had trouble deciphering exactly who passed away yesterday, mistaking Billy Bean, the league's senior vice president for diversity, equity, and inclusion, for longtime athletics general manager Billy Bean with an E. The same exact fucking thing that I did. The word that we're getting right now is the general manager of the A's, Billy Bean, may have passed away. Russo said on his show on Wednesday. Wow, was he ill? I wasn't aware of this. I mean, he's not that old. Geez, was it sudden? We'll see if we can get some information. Wow, that's a terrible story. Billy Bean of the A's, I don't know anything about it. This is the first I've heard. That's not so bad. He didn't come out and just say, oh, I know for a fact that that's the Billy Bean who died. That's not what he said. He was going, is this real? I didn't think Billy Bean was, he gave the old, I didn't even know he was sick routine. So I don't think Chris Russo handled that poorly. As a matter of fact, when I saw the name Billy Bean, that's the only Billy Bean I know, so I assumed it was that guy. So I give Mad Dog a break. It's Close enough, right? It's literally a 1-letter difference. It's an E at the end of bean. That's all it is. Dive Bar with $1. King Kong Dong says, Mad Dog has What Are You Mad About on First Take. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like him. Chris Mad Dog Russo also thought it was Butterbean at one point. You really gotta dumb these things down for Chris. He gets excited. Dive Bar with $1 says Patrick just does what 70% of every other podcast does. They make fun of other people's content. Anybody who almost made it to 6th grade can do that. He's just the funniest guy in that class. In the, what do you call it? In the 6th grade class, I'll go with that. $2 from Dive Bar again says, I am retarded, however. I'm just unwilling to take a crap on you until legal paperwork shows up. There's no legal paperwork. I'm just not going to go off the text of an ex-wife. Oh, and an incredibly manipulative person who would tell me one thing about that incident, then go tell someone else another thing about that incident, and then go tell someone else another thing about that incident, and then use all three of them against each other. And then when I ask her, like, did you really say this about me? She go, no, that person's a liar. They're a terrible person. And like, when I say heavy level operator, that's what we're dealing with. So that maybe would have bothered more people, or maybe would have bothered other people. It didn't bother me because I've known her, the best and the worst parts of her, and I knew what she was doing in that instance because I was there when we got served with the paperwork. And she was embarrassed. She's like, oh, God, I can't believe I ever text that. That was so stupid. We had just had a fight. It was dumb. Nothing happened, blah, blah, blah. And she's like crying about it. And when she's crying about it, I was like, yeah, I am actually kind of pissed that you lied like that. And I was like, okay, I'll shut the fuck up. It's a stressful moment. But yeah, that was just dishonest people who just wanted something on me. So they just clung to that. I get it. I understand. I don't hold a grudge against any of those people. They're doing what they have to do. Adam Simon being gifted a membership. Thank you very much. 140 away from tonight. Keep it going. We are getting close. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. It's knocking on the door now with a half hour left. $1.40 away from tonight. Thank you, guys. South Florida woman. This is good. I like stories like this. We have a super fucked up way of handling like mental illness and mental health in this country. I feel like really what we do is we enable. And not only do we enable, but we give too much leniency to dangerous mental illness or dangerous mental health problems. And then we go, why don't we just put this person on a medication? And then that pill that they take every day will be the difference between, them being able to white knuckle it through the day or them being like a fucking crazy person who might be harmful to themselves or others. The way we treat mental illness in this country is ridiculous. It's cost lives. When you think about school shooters that have been ignored, despite all the red flags, we pass so much stuff off on mental illness, yet we never hold mental illness accountable. We think that mental illness is an excuse. It's not. It's a cause. And it does need to be held accountable. You don't have to say the person's evil or anything like that if that makes you uncomfortable. But you have to address the mental illness. Like someone walking around and they're sore. And you go, oh, they're sore. Yeah, they have arthritis. That's not a reason to not effectively treat the arthritis and try to, keep it at bay because it's causing this person problems. And one of the things we do with mental illness is we just drug the fuck out of people when we have all the evidence we need that exercising, not eating shit will make you less depressed. It can help your mental illness. The release of endorphins when you work out can fight the chemical problems that are going on in your brain, sometimes better than drugs can. So you have these people who eat fast food and garbage all day, like Americans, like a lot of us do. And they're sedentary. And they're getting fat, and they're getting older, and they look like shit and they're not taking care of themselves. And then we wonder why they have mental problems. It's because they're abusing themselves. So there's this woman in, I think, Miami, who's starting this movement now. And I'm surprised the news put her on because, you know, the news is sponsored by drug companies and shit who probably don't want people treating depression and chemical imbalances with working out and releasing endorphins and shit. It's why a lot of people turn to recreational drugs, too. It's definitely why April and Nick and all them, like why they turn to drugs. They don't like themselves. They don't like their lives. They don't like who they are, and they wanted to try to medicate that. And they did it in the most evil, shitty way and destructive way you possibly could. Let's go ahead and watch this. I am a huge proponent of people taking up boxing, people going to the gym. Look, I myself try to eat better. I don't. My weakness is food and beverage. Right now I'm drinking fucking lemon iced tea right now. That's not a good thing to drink. And I got to watch not how much I eat, but I definitely have to watch what I eat. I'm terrible at it, always have been. But eating right, exercising, getting a routine is so good for you mentally. And having pills thrown down your throat by doctors who get kickbacks from the drug companies is so fucking bad. I really wish that we would prescribe exercise and diet to people with mental illness and then try drugs after that, because I don't know if those drugs are the answer.
Single day. Learn more at fpl.com/.
Simply just couldn't get out of bed. It's something that evolved from her own mental health struggles.
Well, now she is making Miami proud. She's helping other people along the way. CBS News Miami's Chelsea Jones shows us how.
You can always tell when you're watching a news channel from a gay city. Because, like, you get like a working class city and it's like, all right, our anchors have to have giant tits, blonde hair, and pretty faces. We're going with the Roger Ailes method. And then if it's a gay city, it's like, we just got to find tooth-strapping hunks and put them in the anchor desk.
How she's doing it.
On the pool deck of the Elser Hotel, it looks like just any other yoga session, but what they're wearing is special.
I always knew that was like the ticket out of my mental prison.
Each woman you see is wearing a set from fitness and financial gains, an athleisure line birthed out of battles endured by founder and CEO Jessica Castillo.
Oh, so she found a way to make a little money on her beaten depression. That'll help you not be depressed anymore, too. Making a buck or two off people who... Look, they need the clothes for their yoga and shit, so why the hell not? I mean, when I do DDP yoga and stuff, I just wear a T-shirt and shorts, but more power to you. That's another thing, like another example of physical fitness and exercising helping the battle against mental health more than drugs do. Look at what Diamond Dallas Page has done with people with DDP yoga. I mean, he's literally helped cure addicts because they get in a better mental state. They get healthier, they get happier, they lose weight. They develop muscle. They get in better shape. They develop that routine. I mean, saved Jake the Snake Roberts, saved Dustin Rhodes, saved a bunch of people. And a lot of wrestlers just do DDP yoga to, help their joints, help their muscles, help keep them loose, and they're not getting injured. Or if they are injured, it helps them with that. Like, I think we poo-poo the idea of exercise and diet helping depression because we've been taught to just take pills for everything.
I would constantly feel social anxiety, and I would constantly feel like I just didn't want to get out of bed. My mental health started to decline in 2022, and the only thing I could think to do is to start moving my body.
Yes. So she did, and she began hosting workout classes and yoga sessions like this on the beach.
As we get older, I think sometimes we bend to the social norms of going out, not getting good rest, or just overspending, very relatable things. And little by little, you keep chipping away at that, and it kind of consumes you.
So she created a community.
She's absolutely right. There's a little bit of hippie bullshit that works. Like hippies weren't wrong about everything. Some of that inner peace and that yoga shit and that, getting a routine and getting stronger and getting in better shape, it 1,000% helps. And I don't think I think America's fucked. I don't think our mental health problem, which is to me a crisis at this point. I mean, you have people who just go fucking mow people down in schools and malls because they're mentally ill. And we enable the mental illness. Like if you want to talk about certain communities, where someone clearly needs mental health help, but instead we just go, oh no, let's just embrace their delusion and let them live it. I mean, these are people who could probably be helped by things like that. School shooters, mall shooters, all this other shit, the drugs ain't exactly working for them. So we've got this mental health problem that doesn't seem to be getting better, and we keep doing the same shit over and over. And then when you go, hey, why don't we try this other idea? Like Rogan's a big proponent of this. He's like, why don't people just try exercising and diet? And then doctors who sling the pills go, listen to this hippie, right? Exercising and diet, do some jumping jacks. You won't want to K yourself anymore. Maybe he's right, though. And maybe cutting out some of that rat race shit might help you as well. I mean, it's worth a shot. We're fucking up as it is. Let's try something different. Let's go to the chat. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, can't believe you waste time on this podcast when you could be out there saving lives and helping people with your advanced knowledge of medicine and biology. All I know is people have been helped in the past with depression by exercise and better diet. And by God, isn't it at least worth a shot? Maybe. Das Optic Nerve says, Aaron trying to eat better. His Golden Corral VIP card says otherwise. I have never been to a Golden Corral in my life. At all. Bone Cold Fleas Austin says, I'm trying to get back into working out. Just hard with a 2-month-old who doesn't want to sleep. I'd appreciate any and all advice. DDP yoga, you can do it at home. Takes a half hour. There's some that are 15 minutes long. I would, if you can't get to a gym, if you have a 2-month-old, you can't leave the fucking house. I get that. I've been there a few times. Get DDP yoga on your phone. You just get an app on your phone. Get a subscription. Put it up, connect it to your phone, smart screen it to your TV. Just do DDP yoga. It's great. They should poo-poo the idea of using poo-poo ever unless you're gay, says McBuster. Thank you. I see what you did there. Bigot on Socialist Media says these socialists that encourage this will never debate people who know they are scum. Oh, shit. Buffalo Jockey says you should give this a try by committing to regular exercise and cutting drugs like alcohol and junk food out of your diet. You are correct, sir. You are absolutely right. Bone Cold Fleas Austin says, my dad used to have his gun in the back of his truck while in Echo because he was out hunting before and then went out after. No one ever heard of school shooters back then. King Kong Dong says Aaron's titties are glorious and bigger than his second ex-wife. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says Rogan is a legit retard who is convinced 1 × 1 is 2. I don't think he can accomplish what he's accomplished and be a retard. Mark Sloan with 199 says I used my iPhone for this. Maybe get a job. No, why? My audience helps us out big time. Why would I? Why would you be so? Why does this upset you so much? Is what I would ask you. I'd turn the question on you. Dive Bar with $2 says, since I know I'll probably be bashed, I'll rephrase. I'm not willing to take the word of an angry woman or ex-wife. Some women in the past and present have made false claims. Yeah, I mean, that was one of them. Sorry if that's inconvenient to some people's narrative, but yeah, it was, for lack of a better word, a fucking lie. 135 away from tonight. Guys, we got 20 minutes left. We're 135 away. Getting that PayPal, getting that Venmo, butt fuck this goal to death. It's our last evening show goal of the week, and I would appreciate it if you all banded together and knocked it out. I think we did 135 in our last rally, so everybody rally up. If you got a bunch to throw at the old toe, we appreciate it. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, etc., etc. Now's the time to throw in a few bucks because I got to do my aggressive beggy thing in about 13 minutes, and I don't like it. You don't like it. Just throw us 5 or 10. We'll get this thing knocked out in no time. Don't wait for anyone else to do it too. You do it, and then everybody will. This isn't good. Olympian Tom Craig arrested in Paris for buying cocaine after the Olympics. Can you get your, like, if you win a gold medal or anything, and I don't know who this guy is, but like if you win a gold medal and then you get and like your Olympic competition is over and then you get arrested for buying coke, can you get your medal taken away? He's an Australian field hockey player and has found himself in some trouble while out in Paris. According to the Herald Sun, Craig was arrested on Tuesday, 2 days after Team Australia's elimination from the games. Oh, so he has nothing to lose. So Australia got their ass kicked in field hockey, which I thought was a chick sport anyway. And so he went out and tried to drown his sorrows with some Peruvian marching powder. The outlet reports Craig allegedly purchased drugs from a dealer in the streets of Paris, and both he and the alleged seller were thrown behind bars by cops who say they witnessed the transaction go down. Who's dealing drugs in front of a fucking cop? I understand getting caught in a sting. Oh my God, it's Sting. I understand getting caught up in a sting where the cop is the dealer or whatever, the cop's the buyer, whatever, however the fuck they do it. But like for both of you to be on the up and up, like he's the dealer, you're the buyer, it's legit, and you fucking sell coke in front of a cop? Jesus Christ, dude. The Australian Olympic Committee said in a statement following the arrest that it's aware of the situation and is trying to do what it can to help Craig. Actually, I heard what I think the thing about this is I heard that this Craig guy had an explanation for the cops when he got busted for coke. He said he was really stressed from the Olympics, and sometimes your body can only handle this much stress, but the Olympics give you this much stress. And so when he gets the cocaine in Paris, his ability to handle the stress goes to up here. It makes sense. Johnny fucking loves that explanation so much. He can't, like, on the air, off the air. He makes a joke about that probably once a time that I talk to him. He fucking loves it. I'm so happy that he likes that story so much because that I remember when it was being told to me, and I'm just like, it's one of those times where you're just like, this man is perpetually full of shit. And it was also a moment where I went, I'm worried that this guy doesn't know he's full of shit. Like, because there's something refreshing about someone who knows they're bullshitting you, like a used car salesman. You're like, okay, at least he knows what he is. But like watching someone think they're a good guy and then say something so fucking insane that they actually believe it, you're like, uh-oh, this is a way worse deal going on here than I thought. That's kind of horse shit. The Australian Olympic Committee has confirmed that an Australian hockey team member is in custody after being arrested in Paris yesterday. No charges have been filed. The Australian Olympic Committee is continuing to make inquiries and arrange support for the team member. Craig made his Olympic debut for the squad back in the 2016 Rio Games and helped Australian field hockey win a silver medal during the Tokyo Games in 2021. Craig and the Aussies bowed out of the Paris Games after dropping their quarterfinal matchup to the Netherlands on Sunday. All right, so an Olympian got busted for coke. I wonder how many of them are doing it, though, and that this guy wasn't just the one who got caught. I mean, I would like to think that a lot of the athletes are fucking terrified of getting picked up for it or testing positive for it. Notice this guy did it after his team was already eliminated. But like doing that while you're in the Olympics, that's fucking ballsy, dude. For sure. 1:35 away from today. 9 minutes until I got to beg at you. We're only 1:35 away from having a perfect week of evening shows. Pretty please throw us some money. Let's get this thing knocked out. Help out your favorite e-beggar. Get another win for the toe. 400 of you watching the program right now, our little evening show that we do. Please go ahead and help us out. You can be the one who really knocks this thing down and makes it so there's not that awkward, pathetic 5 minutes at the end of the show where I show just what a failure I am. Go ahead and throw in Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, memberships. It's been a solo show tonight. I've been on a roll. You're getting a good fucking show. Throw in 5 or 10. Let's knock this thing out. Keep us on the air so we can keep doing this. Here we go. Body cam time. Not that body cam. do not have that body cam footage for you. This one is from Volusia County in Florida. This actually, I know we do a lot of shit. We do a lot of, stories that maybe aren't the most uplifting, right? A lot of fuck around shit. Well, this next one is actually a feel-good story. A nice little feel-good story. I know, you're skeptical. I don't usually do them. But we have one. Volusia County, Florida. A 5-year-old was stuck in the middle of a pond. It was not looking good. And this body cam video is of a police officer wasting no time, not hesitating at all, jumping right in after the kid. You guys throw in a few bucks. Let's get this thing knocked out. And in the meantime, let's check out some Florida man shit. Some cool Florida man shit.
Coco! Hey, he's out here somewhere. Hey, I got him. X-ray 42 Central, I got him in the water on facing.
So it's like a swamp almost.
Come here.
I always, whenever it's body cam footage, every time I'm about to fucking yell at the cop, I realize I'm like, he's got better things to worry about than my vantage point. So he takes off the body cam and sets it down while he goes and runs in the water, obviously. Sees the 5-year-old, goes sprinting into the pond. Yeah, it's a little like I have a 5-year-old.
You got him.
That is not, that's deep enough for a 5-year-old to go under, for sure. So kudos to this fucking cop for finding the kid and bringing him in. That's awesome.
He's okay.
I don't know a lot about Volusia County. I've been to Volusia Beach, but like, could there be, is this a situation where you could have gators? People who know Florida could maybe tell me. Because like, this is a tricky situation. Like there's some shit in Florida that could, that a 5-year-old is basically an appetizer for. So this could have gone real sideways real quick. Where the fuck are the kids' parents, by the way? Why is there a police officer? I just realized this. Why is there a police officer running into the fucking water rather than the parents knowing where the kid is and them running into the fucking water? I mean, thank God this officer was there, but do the parents even know their fucking kid is in the pond?
Okay. What's your name?
Hey, Coco.
Well, he seems all right.
You wanna go see your parents?
Before we have to fucking take them away from you because because they let you go out into the middle of a fucking pond at 5 years old when you probably can't swim. God damn, man, how do you... I understand kids get into shit, and I understand kids can get away from you, but like, bodies of water are one of those things where you purposely keep a more attentive eye on them. Oh. Volusia County. No, Volusia. V with a V. Volusia County. Fucking scary, says Atomic Ray. Oh, yeah, your fucking heart's beating out of your chest with something like that going on. GFR says, ever been in Florida? Yeah, but I don't know where the gators are and where the gators aren't. I don't know. I saw a gator on the road on the way to Disney once. Just hanging out, just sunning himself on the middle of the fucking freeway. Dickhead. He took his vest off to go in. Otherwise, he would have sunk with that much weight on. Oh, okay. Atomic Ray says water moccasin is more of a threat. Gators likely will run with all that activity. Really? So they're kind of, you can spook them a little bit? Dive Bar says, you are saying he will be a bootlicker. What? No. I'm not saying he's a bootlicker. The cops went in and saved his life. Jesus. Taste Fairy Ialto says, my buddy got his Purple Heart in Fallujah County. Not Fallujah County, Volusia County. Volusia. My Viva la Volusia. Let's go ahead and thank. All right, deal. Ryobi with $100 on PayPal says, you owe me a beer and a pizza at Stoney's, you F-slur. You got it, my man. Absolutely. Loaded Wrench with $5. Thank you, sir. And Pray X12 with $4.99 says, Aaron, I could not be the messenger, but experience strength and hope of someone who's done it speaks volumes. SP's name should be Rose. Oh, Rose. I mean, that's kind of gay, but that could work. Wow. Well, thank you. I'm glad that my stories and I'm glad that my experience can help other people, man. That's fucking great. That means a lot to me. That to find out that people who listen to this show hear what I went through and the steps I took, and it helped them do something positive for their life. Don't ever like, if you have a partner or anything who's an addict who won't get better, don't ever be like, Aaron, what can I do to help them? You help yourself. They have to help themselves. You help yourself, especially if there's kids involved, to get to a better situation. That's what I did. I got my kids out of a terrible situation with a bad stepmom who was making terrible decisions. And I couldn't wait for them to get better. And I couldn't make them better. And the other people I was hanging out with couldn't make them better either. And they can say whatever the fuck they want about me. That's fine. That projection is okay with me. But I had to do what was right for me and mine. And that's all you can do too. You have people who are addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs, anything like that. You do what's best for you. You do what's healthiest for you and yours. And and then you hope that those people have the same epiphany. Yes. Optic Nerve says, you know what else is kind of gay? It's Aaron. Aaron is gay. Wait, what? Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, in fairness to the cop, he didn't even ask if the kid was white before going in. That is an honorable thing, you know? Although that's not going to look good on body cam. Like, all right, I'm going in. Wait, is he a black kid? Why? What if he was? Don't make me answer that question beforehand. I'm just for my own. Oh, man. Guys, we are only $30 away from knocking it out tonight. Thank you very much. Who wants to be the one to finish that off? We got 5 minutes to go here. Here, we'll do the 5 minutes quick. It's 4 minutes now. But, yeah, let's do the 4 minutes, and let's just wrap up that last 30. Let's call it another win for the toe. And let's make another win for ourselves tonight. $30 away. You want to be part of the solution? Go for it. Final evening show of the week, so it's technically the final goal solution. Thank you. $30 away. All the links are in the chat. Super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, Rumble rants, Rumble memberships, PayPal, Venmo, etc. Let's just take these 4 minutes to bang out this last $30. Call it a win, and then we won't worry about it during overtime tonight, if you will. So everybody throw in a couple of bucks, call it a victory, and then we can move on with overtime. We're going to find out how cell phones are killing our face cells. So apparently we're now going to age unless we put our phone on speaker. Like if you put your phone on one ear versus the other all the time, I guess it's just you're going to age like Harvey Dent for some reason. We'll talk about that a little later. We've got more pandemic fraud in Minnesota. Hey, I'm so glad our governor is going to be running for vice president of this great country. We'll talk about that too. Like more people across the country are starting to learn about Tim Walz, and boy, I'm here for it. I have enjoyed watching people get to know Tim Walz, because I think everybody kind of expected like an aw shucks, Midwestern boy, you know, just kind of like middle of the road, Midwestern flyover Democrat. No, this guy wants to be in San Francisco, fucking New York so bad. Like Tim Walz is cut from that, like the Gavin Newsom cloth. In fact, he ripped off Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo during COVID. Like he followed everything they did. He let them kind of dictate how he was going to handle COVID-19. So you guys, if you guys are thinking that our governor, we're borrowing you guys our governor, and he's this aw shucks flyover Midwestern dude. Oh no, he fits right in with Kamala Harris. Believe me. Thank you, Red Fox Mad, for the $4.99. Says Somalis for Trump and sends us a link. We'll take a look at that. That could be fun. $25 away. Dive Bar with 20 over on Rumble. We take 16 of that. He says, here you go, just so I can be called a retard. Thank you, Dive Bar. I would never call you a retard for that. Thank you, buddy. $10 away from calling it another win for the toe tonight. Numero Josh Denny says, you're supposed to be paying to call Aaron a retard, you retard. Well, there you go, Dive Bar. You got called a retard. There you go. Yeah, Dive Bar. He wants Melton to call him a retard. I feel like Melton's gimmick with me is almost like, it's a work between the two of us. Like we both know. We're both in on it. That's what it is, guys. Dr. Rondo with $5 says, started as an A-log, now enjoying the show. I know, you started out like really shitting on me hard, and then I think you found out that I'm essentially a harmless e-beggar here doing a talk show. And you kind of went, well, you know what he learned? He's like, I kind of look like a fucking retard if I hate this guy, because it's just like, it's a morning fucking talk show. Like, I kind of look like a dumb psychopath for being such a aggressive shithead about it. So thank you, Dr. Rondo. I appreciate that. You're a smart man. And we're only $5 away from tonight's goal. Whoever wants to finish that off and throw $5 at us, very, very nice. We appreciate it. It looks like the streak is going to go to 9 shows. And then tomorrow morning is the last goal we have. And then Friday will be our anniversary celebration. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says the only good man in this game is Anon.
Speaking
It's
out.
me. I'm Anon. You know what I haven't been able to get out of my fucking head all day? Is, wait a minute, why is the BYB podcast doing a show called Breaking Baldo? And it's me saying, and they've superimposed a Baldo in my hand and it says, Nick and I did butt stuff. I'm calling the quad father.
Maybe she's always been fucked up because of that. He always fucks her friends.
That's my point.
This guy says that I'm fucking people up because I'm always fucking her friends. No, I don't. She didn't really come to the relationship with any friends. Sounds terrible. I have had this song in my fucking head all day. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says Tim Walz is being looked at for stolen valor. Again, you guys are kind of like seeing all this shit about Tim Walz at the same, like we've known all this shit about him this whole time. Like that's why I'm kind of excited about all this Tim Walz stuff, is that you guys are seeing what we get to watch people experience it for the first time when we've known about it for 6 or 7 years now with this dude. It's kind of fun. It's like watching your kids discover the Beatles. You know, you get to watch them discover all the hits. Dive Bar with $1 says, look, I also like Melton. Is there any legal paperwork to back up the chat's claim about Melton? Yeah, there's some guy in our chat who thinks he's a diddler. I don't. I think he has an unhealthy fascination with children and sexuality. I do. I think he's shown it on many different circumstances. He's a sick guy. Like, there's something wrong with him, but I don't think he's ever done. Like, I don't think he's hurt a child. I just think he's got, I think he's mentally ill. I don't think you can abuse your body the way he has and look the way he has and develop such an unhealthy appearance without hating yourself and also having some mental illness. Patrick Melton probably has all of that. And that's why he doesn't really, he can do his thing, because I kind of know where it comes from. He's a bullied fat kid who's just trying to like regain that power that he had taken away from him all those years ago. I understand it. Wild Saffron says, LOL, you got to expect people are going to assume you did the Baldo deed. I know, it's funny, and I like the BYB guys. I like the Quad Father. They're like, a couple of their people are a little too flirty with the pro wrestling aspect of the internet, but that, you got to get attention, Red Fox Mad, thank you for the $4.99. Guys, goal hit. We've nailed it. It's done. Let's change this up, shall we? Hold on just a minute there. And 9. Thank you. And then tomorrow morning, last goal. And then Friday, nothing but gifts for the anniversary show. Hey, I haven't heard from the Aristococks. Were they getting to town tomorrow? I was going to invite maybe go have a drink with the Aristococks and hang out with those guys. I shouldn't skip boxing this week. I should still go. But I think after boxing, what I might do is, if there are fans, I usually don't, go and hang out with fans like socially. I'll do it at like live events. We'll hang out, we'll have drinks, and it'll be a lot of fun. But I think if people are traveling from out of state, like Ryobi was at a restaurant that we were at last year, and we called Ryobi over to hang out with us and stuff. If there's people who are here tomorrow, if you guys are getting to town for the anniversary show, and you want to have a drink tomorrow after the morning show, I'm pretty available. I got to do some dad shit. Like I got to mow the lawn. I got to go run to the bank. But other than that, like, I'm set. So if you guys are coming from out of town and you like bought a plane ticket or you drove all the way here just to come party with us, let me know. Thursday, not going to be able to Friday. The kids and I, we're going to be at the lake. We're going to be at the cabin all day and all night. I'm going to spend as much time as I can with them before I got to leave them with Grandma and Grandpa for the anniversary show. But yeah, tomorrow, if you guys are in town, fucking get in touch with me. I'll come have a drink with you for sure. Citizen M says, Aaron thinks he's too good to hang out with the fans. Lemmy wanted him to go to that party before Steel Toe anniversary so bad, and he wouldn't. Yeah, I couldn't go to Dear Butch's party. It's on a Friday night, and I have my children every Friday night. Like, I can't do that. And I wasn't going to ditch my kids. Love Dear Butch. I think Dear Butch is great. He knows that. But I'm not going to leave my kids to go to Dear Butch's party. And plus, I told Lemmy at the anniversary party, I'm like, that's like for you guys. That's like for fans. You guys are having like a cool fan get-together thing. I don't want to come in there like I'm some kind of big swinging dick. Like, hey, guys, fucking Aaron came. Like, that's fun for you guys. Well, I'll let you guys have your fucking listener get-together. That's pretty cool. Infected Penis Wrinkle with $2 says Melton is friends with Vito, a known PDF. Well, yeah, I mean, some of the things Melton said about underage girls is fucking, it's indicative of a pattern and a problem, but I don't think he's ever broken the law. News story about Tim Walz and the National Guard. $4.99 from Red Fox Mad. Thank you, buddy. Boy, you know what? Let's do that one. Let's do the Somalis for Trump one.
Speaking of,
maybe we'll be able to do those tonight, but if not, we'll do them tomorrow morning. I've had this fucking song in my head all day, and we have a rule on this show. And on this show, if I get a song in my head, then you have to have the song in your head as well. That's just the rule. That's just the rule. If I get the song in, I got to play it for you. You got to have it in your head. Fuck it. So Irrational Times keeps popping up in my YouTube feed now because we've been playing the Dancing Israelis song. So now fucking Money Plane got in my my recommendeds, and I had to listen to it once this morning, and now I've played it like 3 times throughout the day. If you don't know about this song, and if you don't know about Irrational Times, he just makes funny songs. There was a movie made back in like 2020, 2021. It was during COVID, and it was called Money Plane. And on paper, Money Plane seems like it might be a good movie. Kelsey Grammer and Edge, the wrestler, are working together, and Kelsey Grammer's like the money man, the planner, the mastermind, and Edge is the kick-ass guy who's going to go run the heist. They're planning to rob a flying casino. It's a casino in the sky. It's a big double-decker plane where there's billions of dollars in crypto and millions of dollars in cash on board, and really rich people go to bet on shit and gamble and play cards. Funny, like, pretty interesting. That's a decent concept for a movie. And they had Edge. They had Kelsey Grammer, who you'd think would be like a fucking awesome villain. Thomas Jane is in it. The fucking Punisher is in this movie. So you would think it's going to be really good. Denise Richards is in it. Good actress, right? It is the biggest piece of shit that I've ever seen in my life. I've seen Money Plane. I saw about, I think it's like an hour and a half to hour and 40-minute movie. I've probably seen an hour of it, and I could not finish the fucking thing. It's kind of funny bad to begin with, and then it keeps staying so bad, like funny bad, that it just becomes bad. You're like, okay, this isn't funny anymore. This is just a dog shit movie. Irrational Times made his own trailer about Money Plane, and I think it's actually better than the Money Plane trailer. And this has been in my head all fucking day from Irrational Times.
I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet. I am Darius Grouch the Third.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Kelsey Grammer's name in this movie is Darius Grouch the Third. And his badass criminal nickname is The Rumble. Did I mention it's remarkably shitty?
I am Darius Grouch the Third, the Rumble, and I am taking down the Money Plane. Now bring me my money.
It's called a money plane. Some of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet are on that plane.
See, like, this premise, Kelsey Grammer would make a good rich dickhead villain. There's a plane in the sky with shitloads of money. Nobody would ever think to heist it, and these guys are going to do it from the inside. It could work. But, oh, what happened?
Fuckers on the planet are on that plane, all craving action. Whatever you want to wager on, Money Plane has you covered. You want to bet on a dude fucking an alligator? Money Plane.
You want to bet on a dude fucking an alligator? First of all, who wants to bet on a dude fucking an alligator? Second of all, why does the Money Plane have that? And third, how does that bet work exactly? By the way, if you want to light a cigar, you do not use a lighter. I don't care if it's Torch, Zippo, Bic lighter, it doesn't matter. You use wood stick matches or you use cedar to light your fucking cigar. I'm sorry to be a snob. This is just the way it has to be.
The stakes are high.
Okay, so the song by Irrational Times. If you don't walk around tonight and tomorrow going, Money Plane, then I don't know how shit like this doesn't get you.
Above the clouds, illegal gambling's all around. Step aboard, you're on the money plane. If you ever wondered...
By the way, do you know who that is? So, apparently the youngest Lawrence brother is the director of this movie. Joey Lawrence is in the movie. Whoa, Joey Lawrence, that Joey Lawrence. That's Matthew Lawrence. That's the middle Lawrence brother. And they put a shitty mustache and cowboy hat on him. And then who's the youngest brother? Andy Lawrence. Andy Lawrence is the director of the movie. And he got his brothers in it. It's just... And as shitty and like over the top as this song is, it's actually a good summation of the movie.
If this guy could fuck an alligator, well, just put your money down. Let's see what happens later. Here comes the money plane, straight to release. Here comes the money plane, that classic masterpiece. Here comes the money plane, all full of cash. If you want to see who shits the most? Well, you can bet your ass we got the Edge and Fraser Crane. Gonna rob that flying plane, soaring through those lawless skies.
It really, like, it's an over-the-top song, but it's so perfect. We've got the Edge and Fraser Crane. Yes, that's pretty much it. The Edge and Fraser Crane are going to rob a flying plane. That's it. It's almost like they wrote the movie with just that. They're like, all right, I got Edge, I got Fraser. They're going to rob a plane. And then as they were filming, they just went, we'll just fill in the rest as we go.
Money plane, it's a way of life with Charlie Sheen's our ex-wife and some guy that looks like D.L. Hughley. Money plane, get out the way before Kelsey Grammer makes you pay. I thought he'd make a more convincing villain. Money plane.
And he's absolutely, like, every step of this song is absolutely correct. You're like, on paper, Kelsey Grammer as your villain sounds really fucking good.
I thought he'd make a more convincing villain. Money plane, got Thomas Jane. That just seems kind of insane. I guess those parts, they just stopped coming. I don't want to give the plot away, but there's some money up on that plane. And everybody wants to get a piece, and everybody gets a roll. So even washed up teen star Joey Lawrence makes a cameo. Whoa, the money plane. We only go one way when you're riding on the money plane. We only go one way on the money plane. We only go in one way when you're riding on the money plane.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Thomas Jane operates a drone that shoots people.
Woo!
It's the money plane. It is that bad of a movie, too. It's worth, like, that song is an accurate depiction of how bad the movie is. Oh yeah, people found out today that it sounds like the Rekieta kids are going to, at the very least, be able to do their visits at the Rekieta house, or the grandparents are going to be able to move into the house or something like that. Guys, I know a lot of people are like, okay, but there's no proof. Like, they haven't released the hair follicle test. They haven't agreed to any of this other shit or anything like that. Guys, this is how CPS works. I mean, it's not, unfortunately, to get your kids back, you just have to not be as crucial a fuck up publicly as you have been. Do I think 3 months after a kid tested positive for cocaine that they should be with those parents? No, especially when those parents aren't sorry and won't admit what they did. But, you know, I mean, there's a difference between what I think should happen and the law. And you have to admit, like, being away from your parents like that, as big of fuck ups and junkies as your parents might be, or drunks, you know, I mean, they're still pissing hot for alcohol. But alcoholism, cocaine addiction, as big of fuck ups as they might be, it also does fuck kids up to be away from home for that long, because they know something's up and it is damaging to them. So it is a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of a thing. Number one, I don't know if I know those kids aren't in a healthy place because those people are not okay. But also, I don't know if the stress of having those kids back in the house is going to be good for any kind of recovery. Not that I think they're recovering. My opinion is that they piss test and then they start doing coke, because you're probably not going to test for another couple of days, and it takes 24 hours to get that out of your system. So I don't think they're clean. Cocaine is one of the hardest drugs to kick cold turkey. So I don't think all three of them have stopped. But, yeah, that's the way it goes, guys. That's just the way CPS works. What do you do? Dr. Rondo says, well, one is sorry. That's true. Kayla did tell one of the kids what was it, that this is the consequence of our actions? So there is that. MSO says, hey, let's call Keanu. She's got 42 watching. There's nothing I can say that's going to be more damning than that. You can't shit on someone like that. You can't. I mean, it's self-evident. King Kong Dong says, especially when you have April being the way she is, she thinks they can keep doing it. Yeah, she's a problem. If they want to have a healthy relationship with their children, she's going to have to go. But they won't. They're all trauma bonded at this point. So I think, you hold on tight. Hope it all works out. But, in my opinion, fuck-ups are fuck-ups, and they'll find a way to fuck up until they're sorry and they have a desire to stop fucking up. Not my pig, not my farm, thank Christ. Let's go ahead and get into some of these Tim Walz stories. This one is, let's do the military record story tomorrow because it kind of ties in with the J.D. Vance stuff that we're going to play. We've also got Tiffany Henyard's stuff for tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow's show. It's going to be pretty good. Oh, then the naked carjacker in Iowa. Oh, what a fucking different breed that guy is. And Donald Trump just started attacking Justin Trudeau today for no reason and calling him Fidel Castro's kid. So I don't know if we're going to have to do some real raw news shit tomorrow or I have to call my uncle. I'm not really sure. Let's go ahead and do this one. Fellow veteran. Let's do the Somalis for Trump story. This should be an interesting one. Minnesota is known for having a large Somali population. We've got one of the largest Somali populations outside of Somalia. I think we are. I think we're the biggest. I think St. Cloud is the biggest Somali population per capita outside of Mogadishu or outside of Somalia. What is it? Dearborn has the largest Muslim population per capita outside of the Middle East, and Minnesota has the largest Somali population, which is so weird because you come from an African heat wave and you go move to a state that's cold, like freezing 7 months out of the year. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, 6 or 7 months out of the year. It's fucking cold here. But yes, Somalis. Here's the deal about Somalis. Here's where Democrats might actually lose them is on all this LGBTQ social stuff because they do not fucking like it. They're kind of torn right now because they hate the social agenda the Democrats have, but they love the free shit that they get from the government. So let's take a look at this. That's the thing, though. As people get less and less dependent on government, they tend to move right quite a bit.
Out in support of former President Trump. Somali voters in Minnesota come forward to support and vote for conservative candidates. Some of the reasons why, next.
Oh, shit.
Supporting Trump this time around, and I guess doing so very publicly.
Look at that. Yeah, this is at the St. Cloud rally. Look, there's a couple of Somali dudes just kicking it behind Trump.
I might add.
It's a long conclusion that we arrived to. Due to many issues, the reason why we supported, I supported, come out and supported soon-to-be President Donald Trump is due to some issues. One of the issues, some of the issues are education issues, economic issues.
See, there it is, education issues. What do you think this Somali, this Muslim is talking about when it comes to education issues? The LGBTQ shit. That's where Republicans are going to peel off Muslim Somali voters. Is like they're starting to really be fed up with this shit. More so than like white people. Because white people feel a level of guilt. They feel like, oh, if I criticize it, I'm being homophobic. Somalis don't give a fuck how they come off. So this is a kind of an interesting dynamic we have here. And let me tell you something. It's very brave for a Somali in St. Cloud to come out as a Republican. They do, and like white people, like white liberals in St. Cloud, fucking isolate and demonize Republican Somalis. There was a group called Unite Cloud, terrible group, but one of its founders was a good guy who legit believed in their mission of like, he was a Somali guy named Haji Yusuf, friend of mine. And the guy, his whole thing was, I want people to not be afraid of Somalis and not hate Somalis. I want to try to get us all talking to each other and come together. He actually liked to argue about shit, like argue politics and religion and shit like that. So Haji co-founded this with Natalie Ringsmith, who's an absolute piece of shit. And Natalie wanted to push like an LGBTQ far, far, far left agenda, and Haji didn't like it. He's like, this was supposed to be about Somalis and doing better in the community for them. And then she would kind of pull this who gives a shit card. She even told him one time, she said, I'm a white woman and you're a black man in a minority. Who are people going to believe? And it was like, dude, what a monster this chick is. So Haji decided he was going to vote for a Republican. He publicly endorsed a Republican. Oh God, what's the guy's name? Oh, fuck, the guy who used to be the representative here. Then there was some weird shit with his daughter, and he dropped out. Knobloch? Jim Knobloch? No, not Chuck. I think it was Jim Knobloch. Well, he endorsed that guy, and Unite Cloud kicked him out of the fucking group that he founded because he's not allowed, because Knobloch wasn't friendly enough to the LGBTQ community, so that this Somali man who said that he was voting for him because of his tax policies and it was better for him as a business owner. So now Haji gets kicked out of the fucking group. He founded this. The only Somali on the board gets kicked out of the group that was supposed to help Somalis because the white liberals on it wanted him pushing an agenda he didn't support. These Somalis, when they go Republican, they pay a price for it. It's fucking ballsy.
Safety, and many other issues. So that made me come out and as a Republican Party and support Mr. Donald Trump.
I know many people certainly noticed you in the stands that night. How have they reacted since?
The reaction was very positive, honestly. Very positive among the Somali community, and because this
Somali community, maybe, yeah, but the liberal white community in St. Cloud, yeah, fucking. Again, they get mad at minorities when they think for themselves, and the result they come to isn't the one they wanted.
Feelings of the feeling of people switching from Democratic Party to a Republican Party resonates with a lot of people, a lot of Somali voters, and some of them, of course, were kind of a little bit unhappy about it, but the overwhelming majority of the Somali community were very happy about it. And
that's kind of what the Democrats risk losing with a lot of these these immigrants as they stay here longer and longer now, is that they don't realize that Central Americans, mostly Catholic, and like mean it Catholic, not like exception to the rule Catholic, like dyed in the wool Catholic. They're very socially conservative, like way to the right of most socially conservative Americans. And you bring Somalis over here, and them too, they're very socially conservative. So liberals have this idea that these minorities, that they're just owed these minority votes, and then they don't take care of these people. They throw them a little free shit when they get there, and they expect that's supposed to buy their vote. But then they go, we want to teach your kids that they can be a girl if they want to in school. And Somalis and Central American Catholics are like, yeah, the fuck you will. And they'll be like, what the fuck are you going to do? And they go, I'll vote for the other side. And Democrats are starting to learn that now, and they're like, oh, shit, what are we going to do? You know, you could stop pushing this crazy fucking agenda, but they're like, nah, let's just demonize the minorities that think for themselves. Pretend they're not there. Oh, my God. Quad is playing your Frankie clip. Says says MSO. I like those guys. Go tell Quad right now. Steel Toe says shout out to the BYB podcast, and go check those guys out if you want to. McBuster says Kiki is a scumbag, fake to the core. She only flipped on the toe. She claims to hate so much after Melton reposted the fake post of Ashley's. Oh, that's the other thing, that fake post of hers. Like, she was well, I can't say anything about how she felt, even though it's positive. I'm going to stay away from that. But yeah, she put it this way. You guys would be surprised to hear her take on things. Kiki is wretched and rips on strangers and causes drama for money. Yeah, she's kind of lost her way. She's something going on, like mentally she's snapped. There's a chord in her brain that snapped. She's fucked up. But you can tell because she doesn't really know what she's doing one moment to the next. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. She just wants her channel. She wants to be able to be a podcaster so bad. But she doesn't stick with anything. She's like, I'll jump to this. I'll try this. And then people rip on her and shit on her and call her dishonest and a piece of garbage. And she goes, fuck the Clippers who are calling me dishonest in the comment section that says I'm a piece of shit and disloyal and all this. And then everybody hates her even more because now she's being a cunt for not being able to take criticism on the internet. And now she's just kind of free falling and spiraling. And apparently had 40-some viewers watching her. Yikes. Guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much. And yes, go shout out to the Quad Father. I almost called him the Quad Master. The Quad Father over at the BYB podcast. Quad Father only has 42 people watching. Bump those guys up too. Go check them out. Go check out BYB podcast on YouTube. I'm going to get out of here for the night, guys. Thank you very much. We got one more goal left, and it's tomorrow. I'm excited. We got the anniversary show completely sold out, but I guess the tickets are still on sale. Fucking buy them. I know we're at capacity seating-wise, but I think we could probably go another 25 or so before fire code is an issue. So, hey, go ahead. Do what you want. Come on out. Enjoy the show on Saturday. And remember, the actual party, like all afternoon, is free. The cornhole tournament, totally free. Bring a partner, whatever. Pick your own. It's going to be a great time. It's always a lot of fun, that party. Take it easy. Have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.